And good evening or afternoon, everyone. I'm so used to these being evening. It's actually afternoon. And welcome to my Rising Phoenix recap. Let me just do a real quick sound check. So if you're hearing me fine, just give me a thumbs up. If you're not, let me know as well. Um, I didn't hear my music going over, so maybe that was an issue. So yeah, if you can hear me fine, loud and clear, just let me know. Otherwise, I am going to go right into this. So as you can hear, my voice is a little bit rough. Hopefully, it doesn't get progressively worse. I'm trying to rest it up a little bit. Yesterday afternoon's last game session that I was running, I was in a larger room, so a lot of people in there, and to talk over everybody else. It really did put a strain on my voice, and so by the time I got home, I was like, "Holy cow, my voice is sounding terrible." And my wife was like, "You're sick. I knew you would get sick." And I was like, you know." I says, "No, I feel perfectly fine. It's just that last one." So I have certainly decided that once again I'm going to make a change and and fix that. In the future when I do 2 days of conventions, uh, my first my first game session on the first day is going to be a is going to be I'm going to play as a player. My second session, usually the evening, I would be running something, and then the next morning I will run something, and then the last game session that I do, I'll be as a player. That way, I'm not so stressed getting there on time. I don't have to worry about setting up a game, and I can be relaxed and just go right into playing. And then the next is the next day I'm resting my voice for the time I get home. No, it's not con crud. I don't feel bad at all. um and really, to be honest, I really didn't come into that much contact with with anybody. I ran 3 games. I played I'm sorry, I ran 4 games. I didn't play in any. um it wasn't a whole lot. I do have my honey halls here, or whatever it is. Just honey drops. They've been helping. Let me say hello to everybody that's here. Stephen, hello. Good to see you. Takato, hey, how's it going? Um, uh, Paul, I saw. Hey, Paul, how's it going? Uh, we should be playing this Thursday night, Paul. Um, so we should be getting that. We will be running Deadlands this Thursday night. Looking forward to it. And if any of you, any of my players on, so Tuesday night we're on for Dragon Slayer, and then Saturday I'm planning on getting back into our OSC campaign. So I'll be running 3 games this week. So let's talk about the convention. So got my badge here. So here's the badge, and I was given the GM level 3. So I will be level 4 next year. Basically, it's the number of hours that you work. I think that you're running games. I think it's based on running at least 3 sessions. So um, I have over 36 hours of running games at this point. No, if it's 3 sessions, it would be 4. So 12, yeah, 36 hours. So I have over 36 hours. I know I have over that, but I don't think I was quite at 4 yet. Because the one year I ran 5 games, so that really put me over the top. I will certainly be level 4, maybe approaching level 5 by next year, which I do intend to go next year. That's for certain. Let's see. Probably got it from the Wandering DMs. Kidding. Yeah, yeah. The Wandering DMs definitely. There were quite a few people. There were a lot of people at this convention. It was a good sized convention. Um, Always great. Getting there. It's a great location. It's a DoubleTree. What is it? Hilton DoubleTree. I think the next time I probably end up getting a free room because I probably have about 20,000 points with them. So I'll probably get a free room next time. Um, but they have a nice bar, really good food. They have a great breakfast as well. The rooms are nice, they're comfortable. So I'm really looking forward to going back next year already. Um, Fourth level DM is impressive. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you have to be over 48 hours of running games, and I'm positive I'm there, especially after this year. I'm certain I'm there after this session. So yeah, it'll be cool. So what else did I get when I walked in? So they had this nice, they had this nice brochure. Um, so they do a really good job. Scott Legault does a really good job of putting this stuff together. So there was two special guests which I didn't have the opportunity to check out. Um, Elizabeth Bear and Scott Lynch. They're both authors. They're somewhat, I guess, role playing adjacent. Both Hugo winners for sci-fi. Um, but like I said, I didn't go to any of the panels. Um, but the DM's Book Club podcast with author Elizabeth Bear, DM's Book Club, so two podcasts, Dungeon Design Dash Live podcast with the Wandering DMs. Oh, so you mentioned the Wandering DMs. So um, did they? I missed their podcast, but I'll check into them. I'll look that up. Let's see, Saturday, um, creating board games and another DM's bookshelf and everything. They do quite a bit there. There's a lot of things other than just gaming going on. Um, I love the maps that they make because it's basically a layout of the hotel, but they gamified the locations so that you can see where you're going. Um, the vendors. So let's see the vendors that I went to. Um, I'm going to show you some of the things I bought. Let's see if they have the vendor listed here. Um, I'm looking for. Do they have 4 pages of vendors? They must. Here, I bought. I bought a game from Medieval Starship Games and Hobbies Incorporated. Uh, so they were really, really cool. I'm going to show you what I got with that. So I picked up Free League Twilight 2000. Um, it was originally labeled for $60, and I got it for $38. So you really can't, and that's all said and done. That was with tax and everything, $38. I will be doing a box opening on this. Certainly, once my voice comes back, I'll be doing a box opening on that, and definitely checking that out. I'll show you the other thing I got. So I got this print from Chet Minton. At first it was framed, and I was like, I wasn't going to get the framed one. Plus, it was the only one he had there. And I looked through his collection, and he didn't have any more. So I was like, all right, I'll get it when you get to ShireCon. And he went digging through, and somebody had put it in a different slot. And so he came back to me, and he was like, hey, Rich, I found one for you. So I picked this thing up. Absolutely love this. You're going to see that behind me someplace. I'll do a little reorganization over there, and this will be directly behind me at some spot back there. I will probably move over my I'll probably move over my Conan. I'll put that on the other side. So you will see that prominently displayed. So let me talk a little bit about the games. So the first game, I'm going to switch views here so I can do this. Let's see. There we go. So the first game that I ran was on Friday, 1 p.m. Shards of Ymir. That's written by me, a Shadow Dark game, and so it was very nice to have these individuals. I think I can. Oh, I can. I can't go off of there. I wish that thing went away. So thanks a lot to Jeff, Ben, Alistair, William, and Lucy. It was a great experience. They this is like the 13th time I've run this adventure at a convention, and almost every time the players have come up with some other way of going through it. Theirs was probably the most direct route, and theirs was the first time that they chose to engage the Vanir war party and joined the other Azir war party. No one else has ever done that before. They're the only ones that didn't. Well, no, the second group that did not cross the lake. Usually, people ended up crossing the lake and engaging in the monster. There, I'm not going to throw too much off because I am running this one more time at CNYCon, but that'll be the last time that I run this. so so they were a great group, a lot of fun. It was the session ran right to the very end as well. So we ran it. It took almost 4 hours to go all the way through. Um, None of their characters died, although they had a couple near death experiences. One of the characters had to be dragged out and then tended to from the final combat there. But it was a great experience, a lot of fun. So the next game that I ran was this was the Shadow Dark tournament game. So Friday night, a small favor. This was written by Scott Legault, the convention organizer, and I can show you that. So he gave me a lot of stuff that came along with this adventure. So everybody started off with this. Oh, let me change this view here for a second. Nope, that's not what I wanted to do. So everyone got this folder here, and inside the folder is the was the adventure. So this is the adventure booklet. The players got this after, obviously after we ran, and you know he, he signed them and put a little message in there for everyone. Rich, we create the dark. Thanks. It was a great adventure, a lot of fun, and I'm sure that they'll probably end up on drive through or something like that where he can sell it. Now these look very much like Chet's art. So each character got a this is paper. I don't think it's a sticker. So each character, and we use these for marching order on my table. But here are the 5 characters that were in it, and that was really, really cool. I mean, these look awesome. Yeah, I'm almost certain these are Chet Mitten things. And then on top of that, I mean, there's a scoring sheet, so I can take the aspects of the scoring sheets, because it was a tournament, so it was run like a tournament, and I can utilize that for other times that I tried to run like tournament play. So that was, really nice. The other thing that he gave us, which was really, really quite unexpected, was we got a, you know, a spiral bound core rule book. These might have come from Arcane Library, and then just one for players. All right, so a little player's guide. Um, really cool stuff. Nice condensed thing. So I was like, all right, I don't have to use my full book, my hardcover book. So it was an awesome experience. The scenario went really, really well. The entire adventure. Our group went through very fast. We got through it in about 3 hours and 20 minutes or so. Um, Again, they were just very clicking on. A lot of really good ideas. Out of all of the tables running, we had the fourth best fourth best score overall. So we were really quite well. It was like, hey, we placed. We placed in the top five. Now I will switch back to this view here. Nope, it didn't click. There we go. So Christine, sitting at the table there, she makes dice, and so she gifted me a set of dice here. I will. Let's see how I could do this. All right. So she gifted me, these dice right here, and they're actually a pretty cool color. I like the color of them. But the D4, which is like one of those weird shaped D4s, it's not like the typical thing. But these things are sharp as anything. I mean, that point there, I was like, wow, these things are deadly. But thank you so much, Christine. That's really cool. Um, and yeah, I was really quite surprised. I was like, oh, thank you so much. But that's cool stuff. Um, Later on, I'll find a link to, I don't know if she just makes them and gives them away, or she actually sells them. She should definitely sell them. Let's see what else was there. Let me go to the other game sessions that I was doing, and we will go here. And let's see. And then switch views. Okay. So this here was, you're not getting you can't see the name. All right. This one I might have to shrink down a little bit. Let's see. Let's try 90%. All right. There we go. So Whispers from the Crypt, Shadow Dark game. I wrote this, and based on this, I decided that I have to change the way I run this particular adventure. You see, there was like a setup mini adventure before they actually go into the crypt itself, and that setup mini adventure maybe took about 40 minutes or so, and then when we got into the second half, it might have even taken a little bit longer because I let them create their characters. Um, the next time I wouldn't do that. The next time I will give them pre-gens and just go with pre-gens instead of making up their characters, because that ate up 20 minutes as well. So I think in the future, I'm going to definitely change the way I run this particular adventure. It's a great adventure, if I do say so myself. It's a lot of fun. It's it has some things that are somewhat somewhat of a surprise, and um, I want to see that I want to see it run through its full course without messing around with those initial kind of setup stages. that the adventure has. The adventure was written for a home game and then converted somewhat to a convention game, and I think it needs to be tweaked a little bit more just based on the experience we had here. It was a lot of fun. The guys were great. So thanks a lot to Jeremy, Sandor, Derek, Jeffrey, Costa, and Jeff. Um, they were great. Very good time running it, and really quite unique. They had some really good ideas that they utilized throughout the adventure. They had some great team play, and we had a lot of laughs at the table as well. Let's see. Yeah, Decado, you should definitely try to do it. This one is a really, really good convention. This is my fourth time coming. I've always had my timeline offset by a little bit. The first time I went was 2020. All right. And then there was the 2 years of COVID. So I went 2020, 2020, um, three, four. I skipped five and now 2006. So I've gone to four of these. Four out of the five I've gone to, and so this one was great. The last year, I'm assuming it was great last year as well. The year previous was fantastic, a fantastic time. So I've always had a great time at this convention. I absolutely love this convention. It is about 2 hours and 45 minutes from me. Um, and again, the hotel's nice. Great, great experience. And then the next one. So this was my last game, and let's see if you're seeing it fully. So this was the Awakening Fallout RPG. Um, Decado, you played in this one at CNY last year. I made some improvements upon that. It runs very well. Um, it was originally supposed to have 6 players, but two of the other ladies weren't able to show up. But it was a great time. These four, really hit it out of the ballpark. They had a lot of fun with it. Um, they were um, Rebecca was a little squeamish when it came to the rad roaches, and Kimberly was, at first she played the robot, so at first she was a little bit tentative with it, and then she was like, eventually she was just buzzsawing and flamethrowing, her way right through stuff. Um, so they had a great time with it. I had a great time with it. You can see Ben also played in one of my previous games, so Ben was a return player to my table. So that was really cool to have somebody come from the game the day before to finish out this last game here. This is the last game that blew out my voice. Let's see. Hey, my air trumpet, how's it going? So nice to see Benedict Arnold made it to the game. Not sure who that is, but Ben. You know Ben Morgan. All right, so that's cool. Um, yes, please remember to hit the like and subscribe and do all of that stuff. I put it out there. Some people did join at the spot, but I think most of the people that I ran into already followed the channel, so I didn't pick up many more than maybe 5 new subscribers. But had one person come up, he was like, "Oh, you're saying to my players," he was like, "You're sending out a celebrities thing," and I was like, "No, no, not at all." Um, but it was just such great fun. I am going to switch back over to here, and yeah, so it was a lot of fun. It was a great convention again. Um, oh, I didn't mention Peter. Where was that picture? Um, Let me go back and see. How did I not mention Peter? Did I not put up that picture? Hold on. Uh, oh, so I forgot to mention, and I would be terribly remiss for not mentioning. So this young man here, I didn't give out the shout out to all of these people. So Brent, Christine, Rob, Peter, and Nick. So Peter Saloom is someone who I met there. I met there 2 years ago. He ran a Savage Worlds game. It was very reminiscent of Aliens, and it was Alien, the first one. A lot of fun. It was supposed to be Mothership, but he took over for a game master who couldn't show up, and so he did a great job with it. And we've been talking ever since. He is he does a lot of adventures for Savage Worlds, and he puts out licensed content, right? So he is a licensed content creator. So it's, I guess you call that like second party, instead of third party content creation. But he writes awesome adventures. He's a phenomenal game master at a convention, and you should definitely, definitely check out his table if you're ever at a convention and you see that he's running something. You want to be at that table, guaranteed. So yeah, sorry about that, Pete, and he might even pop in. It would have been terrible if I forgot to mention him. So going back over here, I'm going to open up the invites. If anyone wants to jump in and talk, give my voice a tiny bit of a rest. Um, but yeah, if you have any upcoming conventions, let me know. Um, my next two conventions are going to be AutoCon in Pleasant Valley the first week of June, and then CNYCon will be the second or third week. Let's see. It is going to be June 12th, the second week of June. So I gave out a whole slew of these at the convention. So Roger, if you're catching this, I brought about 50 of them with me. I gave them out at my table. I left them on some of the tables where they had a whole bunch of things. So I gave away probably about 50 of them. I have some more that the I will bring to the local game shops, and which there aren't too many, but I will bring them there, and then I'll bring them to AutoCon the weekend before, just to let people know that it is out there and to definitely check it out. So let me take one of these again. So Rising Phoenix is definitely my go-to. Um, I ran into other people there. So Ron from Page was there as well. I had a good conversation with him. He is I didn't realize it, but he started up another smaller convention in I believe it's in southern New Jersey. It's in Vinland or Vineland, New Jersey. So I'm going to be touching bases with him and see if he wants to promote it. That is going to be in May. Unfortunately, I won't be able to make this year's, but perhaps next year I will check that out. And let me see real quick where Vinland. I've been through Vinland before. It's not far from it's not far from Cape May. It's kind of close to Cape May. Let's see. Let's do driving directions. Directions. For me, it's 3 hours and 17 minutes. So that's definitely, got to stay there for sure, but that's not, that's not a there and back trip. But 3 hours and 17 minutes is not terrible. That's like a one nighter, you know, go the night before, stay the whole day, and then come home. Or go early in the morning, stay the whole day, come home the next day. That's probably what I would do. So let's see, did I miss anybody's things? So anyway, yeah. So this is the first time that I'm running at this time. 3 p.m. Eastern time, and that's because that's kind of what YouTube was telling me is the ideal time for a live stream for my channel is at 3 p.m. Eastern time on a Sunday. So I was like, all right, I'll check it out. I'll see. I know there is usually there's oh let me stop sharing that. Hey Paul, how's it going?
Hey, what's going on?
Not much. Trying to recover, trying to get my voice back,
Yeah,
um, and already burning it out.
yeah.
my wife is going to have a fit. Um, luckily, she's.
That's how it was last day for GaryCon. I was like, oh, I felt it in my throat, but there was nothing. But then it was the what was it? The Saturday after C2E2. Because where was I running? I was doing another convent, or no, it was Sunday. We were running to Adepticon up in Milwaukee, and I was like, oh shit, C2E2 got me because that one's just wall to wall nerds and stink. Like people say nerds have a stink. Comic
Mhm.
nerds are a different breed. Ugh. But yeah, one of
Yeah.
them gave me the bug. But what games did you play? Because you ran a bunch of Shadow Dark and
No, no, I only ran.
Fallout.
I
Oh,
didn't
you
play
didn't play.
anything.
Okay,
Yeah, I am going to be changing that in my, just in my going in the future.
right.
Is I'm going to try to mix it up, um, like the both AutoCon. I'm only playing an AutoCon. I'm not running anything.
Mm-hmm.
But there's only two time slots anyway. But there's two games there at AutoCon that I want to that I was like, oh, I got to get into that. Let me pull that up.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Um,
which ones I gotta know.
yeah, let me see. AutoCon attend. Let's see. There was two games I definitely want. So Mothership
Mm-hmm.
is one, and the other one is so Mothership is at. Let's see. That's an early one. And let's see what the other one was. Oh, Pirate Borg.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
Mothership and
those are
Pirate
like
Borg.
the two indie darlings right now, kind of OSR ish. You know,
Yeah.
it seems like so.
Yeah. I've been dying to play Mothership for the longest time. And I was like, finally, I found it. I'm gonna sign up for it as soon as it opens up. That place is literally 7 minutes away from me.
Oh, there
So
you
it's
go.
like, yeah. So it's gonna
Nice.
be awesome.
Yeah.
And then I'm thinking of playing mostly. I might only run one game at ShireCon,
Right.
um, or maybe one per day, and I might run the same adventure because I'm writing an adventure now for future publication with Castles and Crusades,
Yeah.
um, set in a different world setting, um, and I'm looking to I'm looking to partner up with somebody for publication for that.
Yeah.
Um, once once their Kickstarter goes live next month, I will expand upon it and talk a little bit about it. But I will be play testing that adventure at um, at several conventions before I actually look to send it off for publication.
Sure. Yeah. Get as many eyes on it as you can.
Yeah, yeah. I just want to make sure that it runs really well in a con setting. Because that's the other thing. I wanted to write some adventures specifically for a 4 hour time block.
Hmm.
And that way you can do it as a one shot at home um, or whatnot.
Right.
Hey, Agile, how's it going? Good to see you. Um, and so I'm really looking forward to getting more writing done,
And
especially this.
when's AutoCon happening?
AutoCon is the weekend before, so that's going to be the weekend of. Let me get it. That is that's June 6th.
Okay.
Just June 6th. It's a 1 day convention,
Hmm.
so it is the weekend before CNYCon.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, CNY, I'm going to look maybe next year
Hmm.
into. I could probably hop the train. I'll figure it out. Because I just found out too that one of my friends on my Discord was pointing out that Tabletop Minions, the YouTuber, he's got his own like expo up in Oshkosh, Wisconsin over here, which that's not too
Oh yeah.
bad. I drove up there, so I know my brother. It's another miniature convention, so he's big into that. I might check it out.
Oh, cool. Yeah, that's cool. Oh, my wife and kids just got home. They were at a baby shower. I was like, oh, I hope they're. It was a good thing I did. Originally this live stream posted for 3:30 in the morning. I was like, how the hell did that post that? So I was like, all right, that's bizarre.
Right.
I don't know why my wife is beeping the horn. Crap. Um, but anyway, anyway, I was like, oh, I got to fix that because it was supposed to be 3 o'clock. I don't know. Sometimes when you schedule something on Restream,
Hmm.
it's like you have to be so meticulous in looking exactly how it puts the damn you
Yeah.
know schedule ahead type of thing because it's like it likes to stick it at weird times. It's like why would you
Right.
it just makes no
That's
sense.
that's why if I can, I try to just set it to military time. Otherwise, it'll do the AM PM thing, and then yeah, you'll end
Yeah,
up with a 3:30 PM thing showing up at AM. I think I noticed that before I was going to bed. I was like, AM. Yeah, you must have made a mistake.
yeah.
'Cause, yeah, nobody's watching it unless you're going for like the Australian audience or something.
What is going on? I have to look at. I don't know what they're doing. So they're going crazy out there. Yeah, I'm. Like, what are you doing? I said, I'm online. So let's see.
They're not used to it. They're like, "What's he doing
No,
in
they're
the
used to
afternoon?"
it. It's just they're not used to it being this time.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm just testing out this time
Right.
and see how it works. I know so many people on Sundays anyway. At Sunday evenings, they're all live streaming at the same time.
Yeah.
Everybody does 7 o'clock, Eastern time. So it's like I don't like to step on people's toes, but sometimes it's like that's been my slot for a long time. But I was like, let me just test this out, uh, for a chance and see how it works. So, yeah, like I was saying earlier, I don't know if you caught it, but we'll do Deadlands on Thursday. So
Yep.
we're up for that. You'll be uh, the Lone Ranger and Tonto for
Yeah, it was the thing. Yeah, Timmy and I both signed up, but Adam also signed up. But it was only us two that we popped in and went
Yeah,
in for
well,
about a half hour.
Adam has been like back and forth, like some. I guess he has a lot going on,
Hmm.
So we'll see. I mean, hopefully he's there.
Yeah.
Um, we'll go with three, and that'll work too. But yeah, I just had to tailor it a little bit. I had to change the thing that you were going to do because the thing you were going to do is, really needed four people,
Right.
for players because as we all saw how swingy Savage Worlds can be
Right.
with its exploding dice and everything like that, to be one person short on that thing, it wasn't just a matter of, oh well, I just cut the numbers down on the one side. No, that it had to be really. set up with your skill sets, that I was really looking for. So I was like, all right, I'll just postpone for another 2 weeks, and
Right.
do that. That's the other thing I want to do is since my other Thursday night game has collapsed, um, we could potentially move that to every week as well. I'm thinking of doing the same thing with my Saturday OSC game, is moving to every week because bi-weekly, once you miss one, it becomes a month. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? It's like that's the downfall to bi-weekly. Or maybe just Thursday night's not a great night. It's like, yeah, which
Yeah.
could very well be the case as well.
So what happened? Because that the other Thursday was Shadows, Barrows, and Borderlands, right? They just
Yes, and that fell apart for the same reason, I think. Just,
people
you
stopped showing
know,
up.
yeah, one or two people just couldn't show up on a regular basis and it kind of fell apart.
Yeah. That's why it seems like for online games, you have to find a good system that can scale the
Yeah,
encounters easily.
yeah,
Because I don't know, I think maybe more shows need to do less role play and GM advice and a little bit more. You jump in? There you go.
yeah,
A little bit more. What do we do when online games fall apart, or what's the problem with online games? Because it just
yeah,
seems like I don't know. People drop them easily. They have no
yeah,
consideration for other people investing their time in it, and they just go, whatever. So let's see.
yeah. Well, I would say advice wise, um, weekly has to be the
Yeah,
thing.
yeah,
Bi-weekly is just not enough because yeah, we're all adults. We all have lives outside of this, um, you know, contrary to popular belief, we're not trolls in the basements of our mothers' homes, we,
right. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
it's a you know have all kinds of family things come up or whatever, or job and work schedules change and stuff. So when you're running it weekly, you have that flexibility of, hey, you know what, we can't make it this week, but the other three times we were there for the month,
right.
kind of thing. Or we're running it once a week, but what's an alternate day during that same week that we can come together if we have to. All right.
Hmm.
And I used to do that with my AD&D first edition game, the 2 year plus long um, campaign that I
The
ran.
one,
It
the
was
one
like
on
we were
Tuesdays you were
Tuesday
doing.
nights, but
Yeah,
we could squeeze in on a Thursday night if we had to, or Friday night if we had to. And a lot of times we did make up sessions that same week. And that certainly gave it legs.
yeah. Appreciate it, Agile. I haven't done any live streaming myself because I don't know who would show up. I'd have to figure out stuff to talk about too. But it would be. I think definitely the online gaming would be the big thing because even my GM for Fridays now, he's running Draw Steel for us, and he had like a bad Monday, and he's like, I don't know, guys, and I'm like, it's Monday night, sleep on it for 3 days, and he was like, hey, you were right, and I was like, yeah, don't dismiss it so easily. Some of us look forward to it,
Yeah,
we want to play the game, which that's an interesting one because they actually have their own VTT that runs through Steam. So, and they did a pretty good job with it. But I could see a lot of people playing it and being like, "Ah, it's too video gamey or whatever." But it's nice because the problem we were having with Foundry, I forgot what we were playing on it. It might have been Fabula Ultima or something else. But every time there was a overall Foundry update, the
mhm,
modules for it all there'd be hiccups in it, like because they were programmed for the previous edition. So he was
yeah,
like, he'd have to go and reprogram the whole thing. And I'm like, oh, it'd be nice if we didn't have to deal with that. So
yeah, yeah. I mean, it's a shame that like the only system that is fairly easy to just pick up and run with is Roll 20.
yeah, yeah.
I mean, maybe because it is so bare bones as it is, but you don't need more than that. Yeah.
Hmm.
So you got a question here. How
Oh
is
yeah, yeah, Decado. It's if it's like 4E and Lancer and all that, it's not. Don't think of it as an RPG. It's very much like a skirmish game. But it's interesting though. They codify these systems. It all works off the same system where you're doing all your power tests. They call them as 2D20, and there's three different success levels. So there's like 11 and under. That's your lowest, and that's usually if you're doing a negotiation, that's a failure. Or if you're doing combat, you never miss in combat. You always do damage, but an 11 or under is like horrible damage, but it keeps the fight going. Like hit points are always going to get lost, effects are always going to get are always going to happen. So it goes 11 or under, 12 to 16, and 17 or higher are like the three tiers of like success on stuff. And it's
Mhm.
like, okay, there's a decent codified system. The interesting thing is when you crit, because you don't do more damage when you crit, it just lets you take another main action. So it's like it really kind of makes your turn dynamic if you get crits. And certain classes, I think like the Shadow, who is like kind of like a thief or rogue, they do a lot of backstabbing and flanking type stuff. They get an extra maneuver as well, so they can move around and do all kinds of cool stuff. It's a fun skirmish game. That's about it, though. It's not going to replace D&D. That's the problem with it is people. I've heard opinions for it where people are like, well, why don't you just play a miniatures game? Well, it's like because you're not playing a character in a miniatures game. This is one of those games like Rangers of Shadow Deep where you're playing the miniature pretty much, but it has skills that expand and you could do other stuff, and it's cool. They've done a good job overall. I've
Right.
been enjoying it. So, but yeah, like I said, I'm my favorite D&D is 4E. So I'm weird. so
Yeah.
you have to take my opinion with a grain of salt.
Yeah. I was going to say the same thing. The crit rule does sound interesting.
Yeah, you get an
I
extra
wonder
main
if
action
my players would
because
rather that than just rolling a second damage die.
instead of just rolling an extra die of damage, yeah. Well, because that's the thing. Main action doesn't mean like an attack. There's a bunch of different main actions you could do. You can
Yeah,
use
yeah,
main
you could
action
do
to
something else.
yeah, you could grapple, you could do any of these because there's heroic abilities you get too.
Mhm.
Because each of the classes has like a thing, like the troubadour generates drama. The I'm playing as a tactician, you generate focus, and you could do different stuff. So sometimes, like I'll spend a bunch of focus, and then I let everybody else do an instant attack because as a tactician, I'll do that. Or in the middle of the opponent's movement, I can do make people do
Right.
opportunity attacks and stuff because tactician, that's the way they work. So
Yeah,
yeah,
I remember Modifius's Conan 2D20. You could unlock a display, and the display was usually like a morale breaker. So it's like so if you killed like five enemies in one round, which you could do in that because if the enemies were minions,
yeah,
or if you killed a couple of minions and then their leader, the display would be that you could pull like you chopped off the leader's head, and you can lift the head up and toss it down, down at their feet, and you would scatter like 20 minions with that. They would just flee, just from the sight of that display. I was like, oh, it was the coolest thing, but you had to hit various different benchmarks to unlock certain displays.
right.
So I was like, oh, that was a really cool thing, very cinematic, and something I could definitely see the you know just the enhancement of the experience by doing things like that.
Hmm.
This is clearly why Paul likes Draw Steel. He is a 4E fan.
Right. They did interesting stuff though. They leaned it more into the social aspect of it more so than 4E did. 4E was very
Yeah.
much like here's limitless options for the skirmish and loads of classes and all that, which can be exhausting after a while. But the social aspect is kind of cool. You have to gain renown by doing pretty much things for the community, and as your renown goes up, that's how you get followers. So there's a lot of like echoes of D&D, but they're
Right.
codified in a way that's like I can grasp that. It doesn't have to deal
Yeah.
with the weird way D&D does it, where it's like, at ninth level, people start coming up to you and you'll get people. And you're like, all right.
Mm.
Whereas in Draw Steel, you develop renown, and then there's like, it's almost like every 3 renown you get a follower. And the followers, what they can do is you can have like artisans, sages, or whatnot. There's downtime projects. And the way downtime works, it's another specifically codified thing. There isn't short rests and long rests. You have to take what's called a respite, which is a 24-hour rest. You're doing nothing. But during that time, you're getting your victories turned into XP. You heal everything up. You get all your refreshes and stuff like that. But then you take care of projects, and that's where the followers help you out. You make rolls, and you have to reach a certain number of successes, and then the project will be complete. So you could like research a monster that they say that's in the woods, or you can
Right.
help out around town. You could do just anything like that, and the GM will give you like some little reward if it gets completed. So there's a cool little system that's added on
Yeah.
to it that isn't just murder hoboing your way through the
Yeah.
fantasy world as usual. So
Well, the thing that made me avoid it was that, what was it? Its play test was like $50. I was like, I'm not paying you $50 to play test your phone. Are you kidding me? I was like,
those are always so weird. I think the first one I saw for that was FFG was doing that for that Edge of the Empire or whatever it was, the
yeah,
Star Wars one. And I was like, you have to pay to play test their game? No, 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 no.
no,
Not
I
my
was,
fault.
yeah, yeah. I'm not going to pay to work for you. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Think about the exposure. No, no, we're not your tool.
No, no, and then it was like you would pay to play test it, and then they were going to release it like 3 months later. I was like,
Yeah.
so I had to pay again. It was like because they didn't have an initial offset. Well, you're paying $50 now, so you only pay $20 later. No, it
Right.
was you're paying $50 now and 70 later. I was like, no, it's just like
Yeah.
that's dead. That's definitely a dead issue for me. Yeah, we're all weirdos in some way, Agile. Um, so, so anyway, back to back to conventions. I mean, yeah, everyone out there, you have to get to a convention. I met several people that were like, "Oh, this is my first convention,"
Yeah.
and this is like, you know, this is one of my players at the table. So I don't think any of my players were you know, um, under 35, let's say, and so the one guy, I mean, maybe he was in his late 30s, early 40s, and was like, "Oh, this is my first convention." I was like, "Wow." I was like, "In a while it's been your first convention?" "No, no, it's my
Ever.
first." And I
Yeah.
was like, "Wow, that's pretty cool." you know
That's so well,
um,
that's an interesting thing. That's why all these conventions now are on like their fifth year. It really seems like people got tired being locked in with COVID. So they're like, just
yeah.
gotta get a gathering together. And it's, they sprouted up everywhere. So it opened up opportunities for people to be like, yeah, I'll go
Well,
to it. It's like a half-hour ride. Why not? Let's see how it
yeah,
looks.
that was something that Ron from Page was saying, because he was like, yeah, he says, I've been looking for different time frames and everything like that. And um, yeah, he was like, yeah, there's conventions popping up all over the place, you know, especially at this time of the year. Once you get into, April, May, June, the weather is pretty nice. I'm assuming like July and August, it's kind of dead because everybody goes on vacation,
Yeah.
and then it starts picking up late September, early October again.
It's from the same guy that had a $4 million Kickstarter, then turned around and I heard something about that. Yeah, and that's why you got to watch out for these guys. It's like I brought up with Daggerheart. It was like, hey, it's cool that they made it. The fact that they
Yeah.
don't run it on their own channel,
Yeah.
that's a little suspect. And I was just at the game store, and they came out with the individual packs, so you don't have to buy like the big box set. But
Hmm.
you know how many cards there are in the pack because you got the
Yeah.
box set. But so if you just buy it for one of the classes, remember you need two packs because you mix two things together.
Right.
Each is $25. So if
Wow.
you played a class, you'd have to buy the cards for $50. And that
Yeah.
doesn't come with a book. You just get the cards. I was like, yeah,
That's
nobody should
bizarre.
buy anything from who are they again? Tarrington or
Darrington
Darrington,
Press.
whatever. Don't
Yeah.
buy their shit. They don't even play it. It's like,
Yeah. Well, that's what, I got it because I was like, all right, it was like, was it cheaper when I got it? It might have been on sale when I got it. I got it for like 50
right.
bucks. I was like, all right, for
Yeah.
50 bucks for a starter set, that's not bad.
Yeah.
You
You
know,
get the, yeah.
and and the book is gorgeous and the cards are nice and I like the character creation, of it, like how you just pick three cards and
Right.
you got a character created.
Right.
And but once I started digging into the rules mechanics, I was like, wow, this is just like it's not a role playing game.
No. Yeah.
It's a
They,
storytelling game. It's you're just telling a story, and then it gets even worse when you start looking at some of the aspects of it. Now, I didn't encounter this at all. I haven't played it. No, I played it once. I'm sorry, I played
hmm.
it once, um, but someone said that the game master has to ask the player permission to have their character die,
Yeah, that's not
and I was
happening.
like, nah, no,
Yeah.
nope,
If, yeah. Did your character voluntarily go on an adventure? Then there's risk
yeah,
of death. That
yeah.
that 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 is the
Um,
contract. That's it. Tell me now, otherwise I don't even show up to play. You know? 3 times it did not leave me wanting to play more. Yeah, and that's it. Sometimes, yeah, sometimes you play a game and you're like, you know what? I don't foresee this going anywhere. And yeah, that was the problem with it. I did you look at it long term. I played one time at GaryCon and I was like, okay, that was a cool game. But then I looked at it and I was like, this plays in a way that I don't like, which is asking the players to keep rolling dice like every
Yeah,
15 seconds. Like, make a roll for that, make a perception check, make a sneak roll constantly, so that they could
yeah,
generate those points so they could spend them for their abilities. Whereas
right,
me, I'm like, unless it's something of major consequence, I don't care if you roll.
right,
Like, is your guy a rogue? Yeah, you could sneak by a couple of knuckleheads. Like, you're
yeah,
specialized in that, and they're dumb, so it works out. I don't need you to. I'm not one of those GMs that hinges on, oh, I hope he rolls a 1 so I can make it into a comedy of errors. I hate that. It's one of the reasons I don't like playing D20 games at all. It's just
yeah,
the 1 and the 20 have so much power mentally for people. They see them rolled, and then all of a sudden it becomes a circus, either of failure or things start exploding because you rolled a 20.
yeah. Um, yeah. So you didn't experience that. I guess it's up to the game master if they're going to allow it or not. I'm sure if
Yep.
they disallow it, some players will be like, "Oh, you're an adversarial GM."
Oh, whatever. You guys, yeah, this isn't. We're not playing the barista GM game or whatever like
Yeah,
that. We're playing. You're going on an adventure. If you're pulling out swords, if your character's equipped with fireballs, be prepared for other people that have fireballs and swords. They're not using them to tickle you or to detain you. They're using them to kill you. You know?
yeah. So getting back on conventions. So at CNY Con, uh, Friday, I am running Shards of Ymir. The last time I'm running that adventure, and then it's getting retired. That will be like the 14th time I'm running it, and my God, I am so booked for it. I have 4 in the waiting list. It's a table of 6, and I have 4 in the waiting list. So I'm
Nice.
like, wow. Um, and I don't remember. I know one name on here, so that's cool. Um, so that's Friday night's game, and then let's see, Saturday my whispers from the crypt. That will be the revised, better version of it, and I see. Well, one of the players I had on Friday night's game is in this one as well. Oh, that'll be cool. It looks like I have a Corey and Dory Spencer, both, I'm assuming they're together. Elisa, so at least 2 players in that one. Two women in that one, and oh, that's gonna be good with women in that one. It's a creepy adventure too. Um, I am playing in I'm playing in Dropship.
Oh, there you
That's
go.
Black Wall Games.
Yep.
Yeah,
He does what Horde Wars, right?
yeah,
Yeah, because I think
yeah,
he mentioned dropship, and I was like, man, I've been looking for a sci-fi game, and if it's like his games are very much like it's just you're killing piles of enemies.
yeah,
Okay, that's simple
yeah,
enough.
yeah. I'm gonna be checking that out. So yeah, he was like, "Oh yeah, that's awesome." I was like, "Yeah, I'll play it first, and then I'll decide." So now I will have the weekend before I'm playing Mothership, and now I'll compare it to Dropship and see which one fills that need.
Yeah,
Um, so that
Mothership's going to be a lot more horror for sure because yeah, that
yeah.
game is very much
Then
that.
I am running. I'm running the Red Nails adaptation using Hyperborea Third Edition. So I'm adapting Red Nails to Hyperborea
There you
and
go.
see how that runs. That should be a lot of fun. I know I've been going back and forth whether I want to use that system because it is kind of a complicated system,
Hmm.
but I think I think if I go with 6 pre-gens, nobody's rolling anything there. Sorry, Scott Garibay, but I'm using pre-gens for Hyperborea Third Edition. because you can't have them rolling up those characters. Not for that game system. It's too complicated. Um, I got room for players in that one. I have room for two more players there, and then let's see. And then the one game I'm playing in Barrows and Borderlands that Matthew Tapp is running. So playing his game. So
Yeah,
it's
it's always best to get it straight from the designer too,
yeah,
because yeah,
yeah. So that should be fun.
sometimes people that are just fans of it that might forget something, and then yeah, it sucks later on when you run it for your group and you learn something wrong, and they're like, "Wait a minute," and you're like, "Oh shit, that is wrong, isn't it? That doesn't make any sense." And you're
Yeah.
trying to figure it out.
Oh well, Roger's playing in that game. So I was like, I guess Roger was like, all right, I'll take one day,
Yeah, take
one
a
4 hour block.
4 hour window instead of worrying about the whole party.
Yeah.
Give them back.
So that'll be cool. Yeah, have him re-roll backup characters
Yeah.
just to really piss him off. Yeah,
Yeah, in the back of your character sheet's another character because you're going to need it. Yeah, well, those people
yeah,
freak out.
yeah. So yeah,
A game like Dropship that would make sense though. It's like it's all combat. That's what people have to
yeah,
understand. Some games really. I think the problem is people try to D&Dify everything where D&D can
mhm,
almost be anything. I like games that try to laser focus on their theme. Like a lot of people are trying to make Shadow Dark into a bunch of stuff. I'd prefer if people just wrote Shadow Dark stuff as delves because that's what the rules are for. The torches
yeah,
rules, all that stuff. It's like it's all about going into a deep dangerous place, whether it's a dungeon or whatever it is. And
yeah,
that should be the focus of the rule set for it. Now
yeah.
they're trying to make it like hex crawl and all this other stuff.
Well, we'll see how she does with it. I
Time
mean,
will tell. Yeah.
I'm waiting for that Kickstarter to arrive.
Right.
Um,
Yeah. I've been waiting for that for a while. Yeah.
yeah, I think they finally finished the Curse Scroll 6.
Yeah. It was five or
So
six. One of them was waiting for the art, I think. Yeah.
yeah, so it should be soon, but
Yeah.
soon could be the summer. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Could
soon
be.
could be like June or something like that. But yeah, I'm definitely waiting for it.
Yeah. But yeah, speaking of stuff I played at GaryCon, I was just over at the local game store. I picked up Stormlight because I tried it out. And I was actually like, it plays familiar. It's a little bit like D&D, kind of modernish, but it's streamlined. What I liked though is, like I said about the rolling dice needlessly, the
Right.
GM can add, I forgot what the hell it was called, but there's like almost like you add a special die to the roll if you feel it's important, and that'll let you add in twists or give bonuses and stuff like that. So it's like it lets you do kind of the upkeep rolling for skills that people normally do, but you can add that extra die in there that adds
Yeah.
like that twist if it's during like a chase scene or something that's important.
I don't know if it's was that announced that it's another 6 months, or you're just.
As I
It
say,
might be June.
you
I
being a
don't know.
you being a grognard on us here, Stan, or is it? Now I got to read their on the Kickstarter here. I'm like another 6 months. No, let's see
I
what
hope
the
it's not
reaches.
another 6 months.
Yeah,
Um,
recently back mirror
Hey,
down to
Takata, when you were talking to Jeff Talanian at the convention, did he mention when he's going to launch his Kickstarter for the city setting for Hyperborean? And by the way,
Oh,
anybody can jump in if you wish to. I'll
I
link
think
back up again.
this is what he's referring to here. I won't bury the lead. We need a bit more time. It looks like we'll ship in the second half of this year. I think I need about 2 to 3 months of production time, and then the material takes a 3 month sea voyage to our warehouses.
Oh boy! All right.
Yeah, so 5 to 6 months possibly.
Yeah.
Ouch.
All right.
I thought, yeah, when you mentioned it, I was like, they'll have it out by Gen Con. And it's like, ooh.
Hmm. He didn't say. Yeah. Um, yeah, I'm looking forward to meeting him. I have it. I'll bring the box set so you can sign it. But I'm looking forward to meeting him. I have to really dig into it because the only experience I have with it was playing the Kobold Fighter in Shadow's game. Um, so I don't really feel I know the system well enough. But that's why I want to play with the guy and see how it goes. I won't play a Cobalt Fighter because I kind of know what that does already. Um, One of her updates said later on in the year. All right. Jeff did not say I would jump in, but I have to go soon to get pizza for tonight's game.
Got to get prepped.
That's why we need to be.
Pizza is a priority for game.
Yes. That's why we need more made in the USA.
Yeah, that's why I was really pumped to see that Troll Lord was opening up their printer. Hopefully
Yeah.
that gets going. The sooner the better, because yeah, we
Yeah.
need more here, more jobs, more.
You haven't heard anything about like what they did with because the first land deal fell through.
No, I heard something about that. Yeah, I was like, oh, that's not good.
Yeah, that was a while ago.
Yep. Yeah.
So, but yeah, that's a good reason to have your stuff, made locally.
Yeah.
Even print on demand. Most print on demand. I know many of my things come from like Maryland. The various print on demands come from different locations, but typically
Yeah.
my RPG stuff all comes from Maryland when it's print on demand.
Print on demand though, yeah, that's the thing. It's the easy stuff. It's just like the full page glossy stuff like this with
Yeah.
the fancy pants gilded edges and all that, and it's like
Hmm. No, that you can't do.
I
That's
don't know. I don't know it yet, but I'm going to look in the beginning here. Let's see, printed in China. Yeah, because it's like it's either China or what's the other one? I think it's Latvia or something like that. It's one
mm,
of the Baltic nations that does. Because who is that? Free League and Modifius get their stuff printed there, and that's it. Those are like your two like
yeah.
global printing options. So
I don't know. My wife and kids are lurking. I think it's my younger daughter. She's the she's the one that gives the evil eye.
that happens.
Yeah,
Kids reach that certain age and you're just like, what are you judging me for? What the
yeah.
come on?
She's turning 21 next month.
Project is DOA. Uh-oh, which one's that? You think
That's
Trollard's
the
not
I
being
think
able
the
to.
first land deal,
Yeah, oh yeah,
the
yeah.
first land project.
Netherlands. Okay. Well, that Netherlands. There you go. That's good news for old Victor Gorchev there.
Yeah, and that's what Agile I think was responding. They have a second option now for them.
Oh, okay. Yeah, hopefully they get it done. They had that whole thing where they were selling plots for trees and bricks leading up to their place and all that. And it's
I know
like,
I backed that. I was like, I'll take a brick for 100.
yeah, why not?
I figure all the times that I've gotten the veterans discount from them, if I throw them $100, that's
Yeah,
fine. Not a
I'll pay it
problem.
back. Yeah, why not?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
It's
that's why it's like it's okay if you use like the Trove or whatever it is to find a game you like, but if that company still exists, pay those guys money.
yeah,
If you
yeah.
want to,
No, even
if you play something you enjoy, you got to support it. Otherwise, it's going to
yeah.
die off.
That's what that's what I used to do with the Trove too. It was like
Yeah,
I would take a look at it. I'd be like, remember back in the day when they used to get demo copies of video games and RPG Gamer and stuff like that. It
yeah,
was like, oh, let me check it out, and if you enjoyed it, you bought the full version. That was the best thing. That's like when Napster first came out,
yep,
and I remember Metallica was like all against that. It was like, dude, the people are sampling it and then they're buying your album.
right,
It's like
yeah,
if they didn't sample it, they wouldn't buy your album. You know what I'm saying? It was like you're still making money. Trust me, you're not losing anything. And I
right,
did the same thing with the Trove. I was like, I got a bunch of shit from the Trove. If I really liked it, I was like, I'm gonna buy. I'm gonna back it now.
yeah,
You know, um, the few
and
times that people have been like, hey, I'll send you a PDF. Or if you want to review my game, I'll send you the PDF. All right, fine. But I'm gonna buy it anyway afterwards. After the fact, or I'm going to buy the physical copy of it, you
right,
know, and and go with that because to me, if I like it, I'm going to support it.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, if I don't, I'll be like, hey, you know what? I'm not going to trash it, but I'm not going to I'm not going to put it out there either and
Right.
start using it. Certainly not going to take stuff that people sent to me. Like I've only had one book ever sent to me for free,
Right.
um, and it would be like me. All right, I'm going to sell it on eBay now. No, I was like,
Oh yeah.
no, that's so trashy. Uh, there's a YouTuber out there that does that.
Oh, Ben Milton. Yeah, he does that all the time.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
sells all his free shit.
Yeah. I
You
was gonna
know.
say as soon as you mentioned it, I was like, oh, I've seen Questing Beast do that. Yeah, that's not to get any heat for this channel, but yeah,
Yeah, he's a
that's
really nice guy. I mean, I've met him.
sure.
The conversation. I like his thing, but I think it's kind of I wasn't even thinking of him. I was thinking of somebody else. I was like, oh yeah,
Okay.
I have these things. I'm gonna give them out as I'm gonna sell these or I'm gonna give these
Was
out.
see, that's the thing you said. Give out. Now that's another thing. Those guys I respect because they're like, I like this, but I already have a copy of this, so I'm going to put it
Yeah.
out in the wild so people can pick it
Yes.
up and run it and play it, and that helps
Yeah, I can see
kind of
giving them out.
germinate it. Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard him say I'm gonna sell it.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
no, I've seen him say, "Hey, I've got this in my eBay listings." I'm like, "Oh yeah, you did reviews for all those.
Yeah.
Now you're selling them." I thought they were
Yeah.
such great games, and now you're like, "Yeah, this garbage is wasting space on my shelf, so I'm selling it." And it's like, "Yeah, thanks. I'm glad
Yeah.
we paid you to review this."
Mm.
So yeah, and that's why it's like the review game is rough, for people.
Yeah.
Mm.
And you get backlog too. Like I still have my stack of
Oh,
stuff
the
from
lamentations.
Lamentations. It's
Yeah,
like because I felt bad because he was going to send me stuff,
yeah,
and I was like, well, and then he said like, well, if you make at least a $50 purchase, I'll send you some stuff. I was like,
sure.
okay, fine. So I ended up spending like $120,
Right.
because it
Yeah,
was like so much was off and everything. So I got like two different bundles, and I was like,
yeah,
well, I never expected him to send me like the big ones, and I was like, holy shit, he actually sent me the newest stuff and everything. I ended up with like 20 books,
right.
and I was like, oh shit, what am I going to do with all this? It'll take me a year to do 20 of those and still intersperse everything else. So,
Yeah.
but I do have to get back to doing some of them.
Did he send you that 3 book set?
Yes.
Oh my
Yeah.
god,
These are
that's
the
why
big
I was
ones
like,
I was not
as soon as
expecting.
he sent you Nebulith and Don't F the Priest, I was like, holy crap, those ones are expensive and they're good
Yes.
selling. It's
Yes.
like he
So,
didn't,
so he sent me Nebulith. So I was like, oh, because that was the one I was like really hoping for, but I didn't expect to actually get it.
right?
And then this was, one of the 3 volume sets,
Yeah,
right? So this is the one set in Colonial Virginia.
right.
Um, and then the other ones, like the
Yeah, that's
what
the
is this
box
one?
set.
Yeah, the Don't F the Priest. It's like, I
Yeah,
was like, all right, that's there's some really weird ones in there too. But these two were the free ones that he sent me. I was like, holy shit. Those alone are like $80 a piece.
yeah, yeah. There, you got a lot of comic books, Agile. That's pretty much what Kirk's shelf is. That's all trade
Mm,
paperbacks. But like, yeah, the one right here. So like, yeah, what do we got there? That's like 40K type stuff. Shelf below that's like all Shadowrun. I've
mm.
got over here L5R, like all L5R stuff. So, and then like over there, let's see, that's actual novels and a bunch of little standy stuff on it. But yeah, old Forbidden Lands on the middle shelf here, right there. Yeah, on top of all my dice and dice trays and all that stuff. But yeah, lots of books, and then I have those 2 shelves all the way over there filled with stuff, just more and more. That's pretty
And
much the
there's
whole
and
living
there's
room.
more stuff coming. So
Yeah,
we got some stuff. We have some Kickstarters coming out in May. Um, so
yeah.
and Agile has something to do with that one. I already had him on the channel a couple weeks ago talking about that one. So
Mhm.
Zendria, the world building and everything like that. I'm really, really looking forward to that. I'm waiting for Jeff Talanian to mention, to bring out when he's going with the Hyperborea
Yeah,
expansion. I would call that an expansion.
yeah,
It's going to be a deep dive into Chromarium. So
yeah.
that,
He's one of those that I follow on Kickstarter, where it's like as soon as I see an email that says like Jeff's just launched a new project, it's like, well, we're just gonna back that sight
yeah,
unseen because
yeah,
it's probably something good.
yeah. His adventures are awesome.
You know.
Yeah, and they're really well done, and they're freaking brutal too. I mean, those adventures are brutal. It's like, yeah, how dangerous could rats in a wall be? I was like, do you know the story? I was like,
Right?
it's like yeah,
Yeah.
pretty darn dangerous.
Yeah. Yeah.
And let's see.
Yeah. Other stuff on Kickstarter. What am I watching right now here? There is one that's called Just Dice, and it's nice because they're everybody buys all the dice that have like swirly stuff on it or glitter or whatever like gimmick on them, and this one is just a Kickstarter for dice that are just highly legible and easy to read, and they roll quick. They're sharp, so they roll evenly. It's all I want out of dice. I don't need it to be, I don't know, a big spinner. The one that I saw at this year over at C2E3 that was everywhere. It's like a cylinder for a revolver, and when you eject it, each of the bullets is a different die type because they're all like cylinder dice. You roll them, so they have D20, D100s, all that. And I was like, "What is all this? Just give me dice. I don't need some fancy, a thing that looks like a navigator's sextant or whatever like that you have to spin knobs on to figure out a D20 roll."
Hey, off grid. Looking forward to having you at the table at CNYCon. Even though I don't have room for you, we'll get you a high chair. You can sit behind the front
Just
rank.
you can loom over them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can loom over there. You're AFK but listening. Yeah. So yeah, he just sent me a thing on Discord. It was like, hey, I'm going to be at CNYCon, but I couldn't get into your game. So if there's anybody dropped out, I was like, listen, I'll squeeze you in. I got a table for six, knowing that I can always take in one more. If I could take in J. Scott Garibay onto my table as an extra, I could take you in.
Oh, that's what I saw. Yeah, what's his name? Raggy said they're doing a reprint of Carcosa, which is actually one that they did, a role playing game they did years ago. But there's doing a a new collected volume with like another 120 pages added to it or something. So
Yeah. Oh, thank you, Agile. Yeah, I'm almost done with shelf 14. I have just one more book on that to go. Um, what I'm really enjoying about my shelf tour is that I'm like, oh shit, I forgot I had this game. I haven't talked about it in forever. I did a box opening and then haven't touched it since then. And it's like some of them I'm like, wow, damn, you know what? I did this. This is what like Lion and Dragon. I was like, I know I did a video for Lion and Dragon, and I go back. It was like 7 years ago. It's like one of the worst videos I've ever produced, like quality wise. I'm saying it was like the sound sucked, the video sucked. You know, I didn't have I didn't have the PDF of it at the time, so it was like the drop down camera, like looking down on the pages as I'm flipping them. I
oh
was like,
Lord.
I'm just gonna redo it. All right, and now it's still on the backlog. Because I have other stuff. I had conventions and everything coming up, so I'm like, all right, I still have to get into the nuts and bolts of the game system too. But there was another game that was like it sat there on my shelf for 7 years, and I'm like, you know what? I really like it thematically, and I want to run it. It's just when do I find the time to run it? The only place I can run it is at a convention.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Do one shots with these various things, and that's what I want to do more so is get back to writing and writing these one shot things and just putting them out there just to say, hey, you know what? All the books that are on my shelf, you know, I've run 40% of them. That would be like a huge achievement. to be able to say I've run 40% of what I have on my shelf, and I've played 60%, let's say, you know, then I'll be like, okay, that's pretty cool. Um, yeah, Destin for saying to it. Not in his church. I don't think his church has saints. So I don't think they do. But anyway, let's see. Well, I want to ensure off grid be taken care of, not left out on the streets. Let's see. That's how I feel about baptism of fire. Yeah, you got it, but you want to play it. Yeah, um, yeah. I definitely want to get around to. I'm more interested in running Swords and Caravan. All right, and running it with an El Barak theme. So kind of tie those two things together because Al Barak is adventuring all through like northern Afghanistan and along that kind of region,
Yeah.
with a little bit of gothic horror mixed in, and that's how I kind of envision Sword and Caravan kind of playing out best is to do it like that.
Yeah.
So I'll get around to doing that.
Yeah, so I saw on Roger's channel, Chubby Funster was talking about. I guess he's doing a reprint, or he's kind of doing a rejiggering of his Shadow Sun, and it just sounded like he just put in a lot of cool stuff, like the caravan rules and stuff like that. Because for a
Right.
desert rule, or
Yeah.
desert world, that makes sense. Like all the travel, you're gonna team up together. It's like a almost like a downtime project you can do instead of carousing or whatever. You can do that, so you could set up camp at like another city. You set up a caravan and you'll go through events and whatnot. Yeah, there you go. Baptism of fire. Yeah, where was that? Yeah, I was just at the game store and they have. It's old. It's like a 50-year-old game store, so they have one aisle that's all historical minis. That's not including like BattleTech and all the other stuff, but it's there's a Polish company. They did a game called by Fire and Sword, I think it was called. It has a weird sizing for their stuff, but yeah, you could buy like Cossacks and the winged hussars and all those things. It was all about
Right.
wars in Eastern Europe, like the rise of Sweden as a superpower. Actually, it was all the musket and lancer kind of era.
I just realized I'm out of my. I'm thinking about my throat. I might. I'll be right back for a second.
Okie dokie. Give me 1 second. But yeah, it's not baptism fire, but yeah, by Fire and Sword. I kickstarted this way back when, like when it first came out on. But they're on like a second or third edition now. But it was one of those things where I was like, oh, that's interesting. Polish war game. I forget what millimeter the miniatures are in, but yeah, it's like smaller than 30 or 28 millimeter. But it's all historical, so you can play like Tatars, Muscovites, and all that. The Ottomans have like really cool heavy cavalry. But yeah,
I forgot my rum. Is why I stared up there. I was like, I got my rum up there.
there you
I was
go.
like, for medicinal purposes only. I'm out of my. I think it was from Barbados.
Yeah, this is a badass cover, and it's got the. Oop, trying to get the. It's got the winged
Gotcha.
hussars charging at you with the
Yeah,
lances. But yeah,
yeah. I gotta start getting to some of these lamentations. Oh, I turned off my camera by accident.
yeah, yeah, because he gave you a whole bunch of adventure collections too. So it's like, yeah,
Yes,
check
yeah.
them out.
When I don't like covering adventures that much because I feel like I don't want to give it away. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying, and like spoil them. So it's like adventures. I tend not to. I tend not to cover adventures that often. Or I'll do like the classic ones, like who hasn't run Tomb of Horrors? You know what I'm saying? It's like
right. Yeah,
that's not something that you can really spoil. But
right.
You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah, the ones that have been out there for like 4 decades, you're like, well,
yeah, those
spoiler alert, there's a vampire at the end of Sojkanth. I'm sorry. It's been out longer than you've
yeah.
been alive. So,
But I don't run adventures like even those old ones. I don't run them straight up anyway. I always change the crap
yeah.
out of them. You
Yeah,
know,
modify it. Yeah, and that's I think that's always one thing that, like, if I could tell people, if you're going to run a module, you can't do it last minute. You're going to have to massage the edges, almost like you're trying to fit the wrong puzzle piece into the hole.
yeah,
You're going to have to trim the edges because there's some things that are written in there that just aren't going to make sense in your campaign. You're going to need to modify it, and then
yeah.
it'll pop
You
right
have
in.
to, you have to build your campaigns to be interesting, and that kind of lends to itself, like what you were talking about earlier. It's like giving out tips and hints on how to get a campaign to last a long time. You know,
Right.
and it's the way you get it, or online gaming is exactly that. You have to make every session has to be interesting in some way. It's looking for you know looking for ways to subvert their expectations. In some cases, it's like I forget who said it. Someone recently said it, and I forget who. It might have even been in a chat, and someone was saying, like, you know you should always change the stat blocks of monsters. You should
Yeah.
never give them the same kind of thing. And that was the one thing that got my players in my adventure with the Whispers from the Crypt. Um, they did not get a single stock zombie.
Hmm.
Every one of them was different. Every one of them had different, and it wasn't just like different powers. It was they all had like a different aspect of it. In some cases, it made them weaker than the regular, but it was just everyone had their own little thing,
Right.
and I don't know what gave me that idea, but I was like, I must have been writing that adventure like around Halloween, and I was like, how can I make this thing even creepier than it possibly could be,
Yeah.
and I just started pulling things out there. Um, was it in the game with you or with somebody else? Like when I pulled the monster out of Wednesday, you know that that creature, that the hide. I
Okay.
used the hide from Wednesday. All right, and I was like, well, this thing is kick ass in there. So when they saw it and I showed my players that thing, they were like, oh shit, that's the hide from Wednesday. And then when it started killing the shit out of them, they were like, holy cow, that's the hide from Wednesday. I was like,
Right.
yeah, it's like
Yeah.
it's not to be messed around with.
Yeah. Well, that's always my big thing. That's why I kind of rail against even using Tolkien races. People have a preconceived notion, and once they jump in, they go, "Okay, it's a troll. Let's get our fire ready. It's a,
Mm,
oh, it's a ghost. Don't waste your time swinging swords at it because you need a +1 weapon." It's because of that, generational knowledge. Because it's like 50 years, so it's like 2.5 generations already of people who know. If you get into D&D, you got to look out for XYZ. It's kobolds. They might look stupid, but they got some traps or they're doing something tricky. And the problem is like, yeah, you're not outthinking the characters. You're trying to outthink the
right.
players. So it's like,
Or
well,
just give them Tolkien Cimmerillion elves. They're all assholes. I was like, wait, elves aren't supposed to be assholes. I was like, oh yeah,
well,
read that book.
right, yeah, read that or look at the dark elves from like Norse mythology. Like, yeah, no,
Yeah,
there are no goody two shoes elves in this world now.
yeah,
But yeah, so that's why, like I said, I instead of monster manuals, I'll go to and just like I'll back just these regular books of just different monster drawings and other creatures and whatnot that have stories for them, and then I'll be like, how do I stat that up? What do I make? How can I
yeah.
make that into a creature that challenges them? So then they go, wow, I've never seen that before, and it's like, well, yeah, because it's not in a monster manual. I just made it up. So I
Mm,
think that's kind of the lazy part of D&D. How many there's the official monster manuals of which they're legion. And then there
yeah,
are other companies who are like, here's our Monster Codex 12 and you're like,
yeah,
holy god, and they're just crapping out like, all right, we just need art, a stat block, and just like get 100 of those,
Yeah.
put it in the book, and then we got the new codex. Here you go, buy
Yeah.
product.
Well, just like Ducato said earlier on, he was like, for his CNC campaign, he's using Adventures Dark and Deep Monsters
Mm-hmm.
to insert in there too. And I was like, you know what? I didn't even think of that. You
Yeah,
know, but that's you can pull monsters from all over the place. Any OSR, you can pull them out there. I can
yeah,
I can I can pull out Call of Cthulhu and bring those monsters in to to a fantasy campaign too. They work.
sure. Yeah, yeah, stuff like that. Hounds of Tindalos or the Night Gaunts and stuff like that.
Yeah,
That'd fit right in. Yeah. But yeah, one of the cool things too from Gary Kahn was what's his face, Todd Stashwick, that guy that was in Star Trek Picard. He did the Dark Age of Fear, and it's a cool book. It's pretty much instead of like a source book for D&D, it's more like vibes of fantasy that they had in the 70s,
cool.
and they built a setting that you could play D&D in, but there's no rules in it. It's just like here's the story for it, like they try to get you into the mood of the game instead. And I was like, that's a cool way of looking at it, instead of, because everybody has a map book or a monster book or
Yeah,
whatever, a setting book that they're trying to sell. And it was cool to see them come at this from a different angle, where they're like, we're going to make music, art, and stories in this world and describe the
right.
setting to kind of generate the feel for that fantasy, and then let players kind of walk into it with whatever rule set they want, whether it's D&D or whatever. And I was like, okay, that's cool.
Yeah,
So
yeah. I want to pull monsters out of Chiller Theater from my childhood. There was that like late '60s, early '70s Chiller Theater.
yeah.
So let's see. I know before when we talk about Kickstarter, I pulled up Kickstarter, and the first thing I got was the Garden Swimjet X series. Bring the water park home. I was like, okay, I don't know why that's in my feed, but okay.
Yeah. Oh, what's the one they're talking about now? It's that Dungeon Crawler Carl and it's just because it's like $8 million or whatever now.
Really?
I don't know what it is. It's a comic strip, an online something or another.
Um, was it like a hardcore? What was that one? Hardcore Max or something like that, or hardcore Henry?
Uh, I think it's a comic,
Yeah,
maybe.
let me see.
And then let's see here,
Well,
limited
comics.
edition,
Let me see. I just clicked on comics. So let's see.
hardcovers.
So I have The Boys 20th anniversary.
Mm-mm. No, because it's like they did a Dungeon Crawler Carl RPG, and that's the one that's at like $8 million.
Let me see.
And
Dungeon
people are like,
Crawl.
holy crap. Because yeah, it's like they're showing all the, if you type it in, it's all pins and hardcovers for like the comics, but there is an RPG. Oh, you know what? I don't think it's on Kickstarter. I think it might be on Backer Kit or something like that. I'll look it up.
What's your? I haven't even seen Ostrich 3. I see there's already people writing adventures for it.
Oh, really? I saw it. Wasn't it? Was it at the Mythmere booth? Or were they the ones that were doing it? It was over at GaryCon, and I was like,
Yeah,
because I have Ostrich. I believe it's two, and it's just all it is AD&D with like none of the soul or art in it. It's
yeah.
just it has all the tables, and that's
It's just a
about it. Man.
compilation of the rules. Yeah,
Mhm. So that's
it's
why when
it's
they made a third one, I
it's
was
really
like,
meant to be. Someone says it though, like you're not supposed to play Ostrich. You're supposed to use it as a reference guide. That's it.
that's what
It's
it's.
not
Yeah,
like designed to be a playable game from that
yeah,
because it has none of the soul, like you're saying.
yeah. The RPG's on Backer Kit right now. It's over $8 million. Oh, Renegade Game Studios is doing it too. Ooh, their RPGs are very miss and occasionally hit. I've heard good things about
Renegade
their.
is WotC Japan,
No.
isn't it? Isn't Renegade the same company that makes their like Power Rangers and
They do the bad RPGs, which is GI Joe, Power Rangers, Transformers, and maybe something else. All that system is awful,
But
awful.
that's Renegade Games.
That is Renegade, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to see here. Game by John D. Clare. If it's John D. Clare, that's got to be a board game. I don't know who's writing the role playing game, but I do not have high hopes for it. Like I said, because
um,
I bought the GI Joe game because I was like, hell yeah, GI Joe RPG. Ooh,
and it
these rules are
sucks.
rough. It sucks. It's really bad. It's like fifth edition, and then they were like, we need to make this less like fifth edition so we don't get sued, and they just made rules that are bad. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
very unfortunate. But yeah, it's 30 plus playable races and massive class roster
Too
with
much.
iconic subclass.
It's
Yeah,
way too much. That's why I won't touch those things. I won't touch any of
yeah.
um those 4 or 5e monster compendiums, you know or just expansions to the character classes, like that other guy, that other YouTuber came out. I think it's Dungeon Shorts. It was like 50 new character subclasses, and I was like, who the hell needs that shit? It's like,
Yeah.
I mean, it's just ridiculous. It's just too much.
All right, let's see. Who are the writers? Don't tell me how many character classes are in it. Because yeah, that's the thing. As soon
Now
as
I'm scrolling through all of these Kickstarters under just games,
yeah,
right? Well, I put Dungeon Crawl, so I'm getting all of these here.
oh, it's on Backer Kit. That's why.
Oh, you're on BackerKit.
Yeah,
All
yeah,
right.
yeah. Because I was like, it's not showing up on Kickstarter. And I was like, here, I think I can just cut this and put it in the chat for you. And then
No, I'm not that interested. You don't have to bother me.
he's like, yeah, yeah, you know what? I think I don't want to know. But either way, it's there should you have any morbid curiosity. They're coming for me anyway. So let's see.
They're coming away.
That's the problem when it warms up around Chicago. It's yeah,
The whole gym. Oh, you're in Chicago.
yeah, it's shooting time. So well, I'm just
Yeah.
outside of Chicago, but it's the same thing. I'm right down the street from like one of the biggest trauma centers. So
Oh, yeah.
yeah, it's always like, well, here come the ambulances. Oh no, loot boxes, all this stuff. Anyway, I'm just gonna turn this off so I don't. It was another one of those things that people brought up, and I was like, what is this? Why are people
Yeah. So
talking about
I
it?
just typed
Oh,
in TTRPG on this, and I'm looking to see Voidbreaker tabletop skirmish game. 3 days left, 11% funded. Not going to happen. Sorry. I don't think it's going to happen. Um, Firewatch. It looks like you're sitting in the wilderness in a tower on Firewatch duty, I guess.
oh, is that the board game? I think I saw that.
Oh, yeah. It's a solo game, solo role playing. How do you a solo role playing? Six-sided dice system, solo role playing, choose your own adventure game book called Firewatch. It met its numbers. It's got 18 days to go. Welcome to the North. Firewatch is a solo role playing game. Choose your own adventure game book where you assume the role of a digital caretaker for a Firewatch tower. Is Agile still here? Agile. We have a totally different envisionment of what Firewatch is. Right? It's like we used to have fire guard duty. You're walking in the barracks in the middle of the fucking night, making sure there was no fire, fire, on duty. Wow, that's pretty. I
That
mean,
just
they
sounds
made the
like that
numbers.
sounds like such busy work, especially in the military. They're like, have somebody stay up and not sleep, and they're just going to keep an eye out so nothing's on fire.
Well, you did a 2 hour shift.
Oh,
You
okay.
know, but you typically only got 6 hours of sleep, so it's like 1/3 of your sleep time is on that. Um, well, the hardcover's only $40.
plus a separate GM guide. Oh, so there you go. So they realized what was missing in Osric 2.0 and 3.0 was like, oh yeah, we need to probably going to need to build our own thing if we want to sell this. Oh, good for them. But like I said, it's like now there's so many reprints and other stuff of AD&D that it's like, do you really need?
Yeah.
Like that's the problem is I think Ostrix run out of its own usefulness. But yeah, as far as people in their first conventions, that's how it was. What was it? Was it? I don't think it was last year. I think it was the year before that, where it was D&D's 50th anniversary.
Uh-huh.
There were people all over the place at GaryCon. They were like, "Oh man, I used to play this back in high school. Now I'm almost retired. And I just wanted to see what this is all about." And it was like their first convention. They were going crazy, loving it. And I was like, "That's interesting." Crowd to meet like on. It was like that specific year, and then they never showed up again. They were gone. But I guess they just wanted to be like part of the, I don't know, the 50
Yeah.
year anniversary.
Yeah, it's an interesting, thing. I wouldn't have thought of that because it wasn't like WotC really promoted the 50th anniversary that much.
Mm-mm. Well, that was a weird thing this year too. WotC was the largest sponsor for GaryCon, and you wouldn't have known it. Like it's on the website and stuff like that. And then they did that whole announcement with the Melf's guidebook,
Hmm.
and that was done like on the down low. Like the artwork that sold to Vince Vaughn for 5K never showed up on the auction because it probably would have went for more than 5K. And all that stuff was like released after the show. It was like, this is weird. Why wouldn't they use the show to promote this? And it's like instead, it was like they maybe they feared backlash or anything. They were like, we want it controlled. We don't want anybody knowing. It's such a bizarre way of doing it. Because yeah, I heard about that and I was like, did I miss something? Like I don't pay attention to most D&D stuff. I don't play a lot of D&D, but I'm pretty sure if I were there, I would have heard the scuttlebutt because everybody was talking about stuff at GaryCon. But yeah.
Yeah, I'm just checking. Let's see. Well, I had a message on Kickstarter. Let me see what my message is. On April 7th. I think I did this already.
Yeah, Ducato, I'm not sure if you're there. Let me know if you ever tried Infinity or Warcrow or any of that company's stuff. Because I was at the game store and I was looking at their minis and I was like, there's two horsemen in this box and it's $80. It's like more expensive than Games Workshop. I'm not sure how they get away with pricing things this way.
Oh, someone trying to come in? Let's see. Bear.
Uh-oh.
Hey, Bear. For the record, Bear is not a crazy fucking Canadian.
No, I am. I am a fully.
Or however exactly did Bill say that?
I
Stay
am
the
fully.
fuck away from you, you crazy fucking Canadian.
Who said this? What is this? Sorry, I'm not understanding the joke.
That's what Bill Sivey said to Condor.
Oh, yeah. Well, I don't. I stay out of that. I stay the fuck out of that. That's just no, thank you. So, how was your con? It was good.
It was very, very good. I'm still trying to recover voice
Can
wise
hear it.
from it
Yeah.
because the last session that I did, which was a mistake to do that just before I came home, was we were in the larger room, so there's probably about 30 tables in this room,
Wow.
and so I'm just trying to get above the din, and that game session ran. Thankfully, it ran like maybe 3.5 hours.
Oh, wow.
So for like 3.5 hours, I was just like, blah, 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 maximum, and then it took all of about 15 minutes on my drive home, my 3-hour drive home, but it took all about 15 minutes before I started feeling the voice go. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh crap, there it goes. So I was like, and now it's like shot. So
I hear
a
you.
combination of lemon, not lemon, honey drops and rum actually helped better. So I'll do another shot of rum uh,
All right.
in a second, and that actually helped a little bit more.
Oh, good.
But
Good, good,
it's
good.
not con crud because I feel completely fine. It just blew it out. So I have amended my convention practices. So I have
Mm,
learned that my first game session when I'm driving in that morning should not be me running something, but me playing something.
sure.
Then I'll have the lunch break. I'll be checked in my room. Then I'll go to my table in the afternoon and run something. And then the next day, I will run something in the morning, play something in the afternoon, and then drive home. That way, I should not be blowing out my voice, you
That's fair.
know, in the last minutes before I leave the place. And, uh, and my wife and kids will not be looking to kill me because they always think I'm coming home sick.
Yeah, no doubts.
Yeah.
No
Well, it did help when I
doubts.
did come home sick from Paige with, the flu A. I was sick for like 10 days afterwards.
Ooh,
But
yeah.
I'll be like, what's his name? The RPG pundit. So today I'm drinking. It's like,
Yeah, but we can see your face, and you're not wearing an ascot, so I don't know.
yeah. No,
It's
I
true.
don't know.
we can see your face.
You need a cat or two jumping around, and you need all of
Yeah.
your published books
Yeah, no,
lining
my,
the
my,
entire
my
shot.
years of cats are long, long gone. That was my teen years. I had a cat. I brought home a cat one time. Actually found him on my. I found him on my engine block
Oh
before,
wow.
I heard him before I turned my car on. That's back when, there was room in engines.
Yeah.
This was my 68 Camaro. It was my brother's car. Um, it was a 68 Camaro, I think. So 67, 60. Yeah, it was a 68 Camaro. So I had a lot of space in there. A small child could sleep on top of that engine underneath that hood. But
Yeah.
so I brought the cat in, started feeding it and everything like that. Had it for a while until I realized that my father hated cats. So it was like my father despised it, and this cat was like we couldn't touch my father's food. So when my father saw the cat touching his food, I mean, he gave this thing like a Raul Allegre shot across the room, just booted it. Boom! I was like, oh damn. My
Yeah.
father was never. My father was never a. He was never somebody that would lose control like that, except
Mm-hmm.
for like if you mess with his food.
Mm-hmm.
It was the only time. He kept his World War II experience, kind of bottled in.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, touched his food and that shit came out.
Oh well. So would you play at the con? I'm sorry if we're
So
going over January
I ran,
trash.
I ran 3 sessions of Shadow Dark. Um, Two were mine. One was the convention organizer wrote a what you call it?
Module.
Yeah, a tournament module. So we use tournament rules, scoring, and all that kind of thing. Um, so very, very good experience. And
Cool.
then the other was Fallout. I ran Fallout RPG, the Modifius Fallout.
Mm.
A lot of fun. A lot of fun. The whole way through, every game session was really good. Um,
Sorry.
and good players.
Good.
So a lot of fun.
Still think you should come up to Claricon, but that's just me.
Where's that in Canada?
No, Alaska. Yes, it's in Canada where I am, sir. That's correct.
If we ever go out to, let's see. Well, I have relatives in both Toronto and in Barrie.
Well, ironically,
Mhm.
Claricon is sort of in between the two in a
Yeah,
weird way.
yeah. So the next time we end up there, I'll look to see.
Well, it's not like the ClareCon happens every weekend, man. It's only in October. So, if you're not up there in October, you
Yeah,
ain't
I
going to
don't
go.
see us going there in October.
Why not? It's beautiful here in October.
Oh, is it really?
Oh, yeah, it's all leaves have all changed. It's still above freezing. It's really nice.
Oh, okay.
Autumn here is gorgeous.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe I'll go to HalCon.
I'll be right back. My dryer's done.
So,
That's why, yeah,
uh,
I've heard the term vulture verse for the first time,
yeah.
and I was like, "What the hell
Oh,
is
you
that?" And
haven't
it's like,
caught any of
"Oh,
those?
oh Lord, what is going on?"
Yeah. I for one, I can like ignore him,
Yeah,
to for the most part. I
yeah,
really, I stopped watching most of it, and you know, just can't be bothered anymore.
yeah. Yeah, it sucks. That's the way it goes, though. Like, not everybody in this hobby, just like in life, is going to get together or get
Oh
along.
yeah, yeah. No,
And,
that's absolutely right. Like I was having a conversation with Scott, who ran this con here,
yeah,
and he was like, "Oh, I had you know, had an issue at a table with, one of the guys. One of the guys drank too much, and then he was at the table. He was a player,
right,
and just really obnoxious, and the other people were kind of upset with it. And he was
yeah,
like, "Yeah," he says, "I've never had a bad experience at running a convention or at a convention,
right,
with a player." And I was like, "Yeah, you know what? I've never had a bad experience at a table, though. I mean, I had a bad experience after the fact with, our good friend Scott there, um, shitting all over everything after he, sat through it and had such a great time at the time, but then decided to criticize it afterwards. And that
yeah,
one YouTuber who got freaking his channel nuked, that was just such a discourteous bastard that I'm like, like, what, a year later he's still bitching about me coming up to him and trying to say, "Hey, you know what, like extending an olive branch." I was like, "Oh, I'll never do that again,"
right.
and he's still talking about it a year later, and a year later his
Who
channel
is
gets
this?
nuked.
Who?
This was the guy from Gamers on
Oh,
Games.
no.
Yeah, he was like a freaking, like, was supposedly a gaming channel, but all he did was talk negative politics, you know, about who, and so it was like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
but he was like a big like Antifa supporter as well.
Oh
So
God. Well, back onto the Vultureverse, which was also a
yeah,
term I learned yesterday as well,
okay.
or this week. He comes by some of my live streams and he hangs out in the chat. And as long as he behaves himself, he's more than welcome to be there. And he's been very behaved. But I'm still not taking him up on his offer like you guys did to go on his channel. I have no interest in that, as I've said publicly and will continue to state. He said some pretty shitty things about me, and until I get an apology, he doesn't get the benefit of a boost from having me on his channel. Simple as that.
Yeah,
I'm not going to be his content farm. It's not happening. Just the way it is.
yeah,
I mean, I'll be nice to you. I'll be friends with you. But if you want something from me and you've been a shit to me,
mm.
probably very highly unlikely the only thing you'll get from me is the words fucking off.
Yeah. I've like I said, I mean, I'm only going to reach out to people that I already have a good relationship with and want to come on the channel and do things like this, right? I always open up my live streams for people to come on. I never do
Yeah.
a live stream without putting an invite out.
Yeah.
And anybody that's going to come on and join in here, I've never had a problem. Now, I'll knock on wood, because I will have a problem as soon as I finish that sentence,
Yeah. You
but
will.
I've never had a problem with anybody coming in on my chat and, you know, raising hell.
There we go. Sorry, I have OCD, and the camera was a little bit off, so all the lines in my bookshelf were, and it was just driving my brain insane. So I had to straighten everything out there. Sorry. No. Listen, you're a nice guy. I can't see anybody giving you a hard time, and if they do, well, remind them. It's as simple as that.
Let's see. Oh, Dave. Let's see, Dave. 3.0 added some soul and how to play sections, plus a separate GM guide. All right.
3.0 of what?
Of Osric.
Osric, yeah.
Did he tell you the story of the Oscar?
No, I didn't tell him.
Tell him, please. I love it.
Bear was wrapping up one of the shows, and one guy in the chat was like, "Man, thank God you guys were here talking." I was just listening in the background though, because I've been trying to read through this Ostrich 3.0, and I just died laughing because I was like, "That book is that boring that you had to listen to us for like 3 hours while you're reading it."
Well, you're apparently struggling to read it, no less.
Well, you know what I just finished listening to?
What?
First time I listened to Sword and Deviltry. All right, so Fritz Leiber, first one. It's like 7 hours and 40 minutes. It was torture for 7 hours. I was like, this is the most overrated piece of shit I've ever had to plod through until like the last 40 minutes. And then I was like, once they started trying to kill the Thieves Guild, the Guild Master, that was the only time I could not stand Fofford the whole 5 hours worth of his story portion. And then all of the ladies involved around both him and the Grey Mouser were annoying as hell. I was like, well, why didn't they just? They should have celebrated when they both got burnt up alive. They should have been like, oh, fucking hey, we're free. I mean, they were all pains in the asses.
Yeah.
I was like, and then it finally ended, and I was like, wow, that was a real piece of shit. How is that on anybody's appendix end?
Yeah.
I mean,
I only ever read the DC comic book adaptions, Sword and Sorcery, which were of the Fafhrd and Grey Mouser stuff, and I never understood the appeal.
Overrated.
Like Lankmar is an interesting city.
Shadow was going to go nuts when he was like, "Oh," he says, after you get through the first couple sections of it and you get past the thing, it really does pick up. I was like, no. I mean, thankfully, I had like 9 saved up, free things on Amazon for it. But I was like, no. So I really enjoyed Paul Anderson's. Was it 3 Lions, 3 Hearts?
Never read it.
Hearts, 3 Lions. Yeah,
that was good. That was really good. I could pick up another one. Then I was like, you know what? Because I was looking, because I have these stupid. They keep on sending me a text. It was like, if you don't spend them, you're gonna start losing them. We're gonna take them away. And I was already prepaid for like 9 credits. So I was like, all right. I was like, I never actually read a Harry Potter book. So since I got the first one, listened to it, because I don't read books anymore. I just listen to them now. And I was like, wow, this is really good. I actually enjoyed it. I actually laughed at a couple of occasions. So I was like, yeah, this is really good. Then I got the second one, and I was like, yeah, this is pretty cool too. Then I watched all of the movies. So I don't think I ever watched the end, like the last of the movies.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, they're pretty solid. They're all pretty enjoyable. No regrets with that. I'm getting ready to listen, because I've been chipping away at the Appendix M. And what's the next one the next one is, I still have Jack Vance to read. I'm gonna start listening to 9 Princes in Amber. Although that's more of a sci-fi, I think.
Which one is that? Is that Zelazny?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Amber stuff is like sci fantasy. It's weird.
Mhm.
I don't care for it myself, but it's just me.
I just started, like I said, I'm going to go through it. I still have to do Jack Vance, although I don't have the like the one book of it. I think I have it like an anthology of the Fallen Earth or whatever it's called. Not Fallen Earth.
Dying Earth.
Dying
Dying
Earth.
Earth.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. I have no interest. I'm very very picky about what I'll read now, and like a lot of that stuff. Like I got burned on reading a lot of that shit that the '60s hippies were really into for fantasy, and I read a lot of it, and a lot of it was just like, why is this? Like Thomas Covenant was the final burn for me. I'm like, I don't
Mm.
care anymore about any of this generation's favorite fantasy. Like, fuck off. It's all just weird. It's all weird for the sake of being Moorcock. I read so much Moorcock, and I was just like, why did
I don't. I did not like Moorcock either. I didn't like. I tried. I tried
Elric?
the first Ulrich novel and couldn't get through it.
Mm.
Um,
I did, but I almost checked out at the castrati organ. Not the castrati organ, but the organ of slaves trained to scream at a certain pitch when they play the organ and it stabs them. I'm like, what the fuck is this? Like, it's just so edgelordy. It's so garbage. But I was the same way with The Witcher. I read the first book, which was all the short stories.
mhm.
Loved it. Loved it. Started to read the first novel, and by like 3 chapters in, I'm like, I do not care about these characters. I do not like this long form storytelling he's doing.
Yeah.
No. Just no.
Yeah. My biggest problem with Sword and Deviltry was that it doesn't have chapters. It had like the first section of it was like 5 hours long. I was like, I'm driving an hour and a half to work, hour and a half back. I'm like, I need chapters where I can cut it off at a certain point and not cut it off in like in the middle of a scene.
Yeah.
And it's just not broken down that way either.
I
don't
can't
know
do
how
the I
how
can't
the
do the
book is
Audible.
organized.
I can't do Audible. I can't do books on tape. I it puts me to sleep. Listening to someone read a book to me just like it knocks me
Well,
right out.
when I'm driving, I need something to go on. There's
That'd
nothing
be
on the
even
radio.
worse. If I was driving, that'd be even worse. I'd be falling asleep while driving. Jesus.
No, that occupies me. I put it loud.
That's fair.
You
Some
know.
people can, some people can't. That's just the way it
It's
is.
for a long. I wouldn't do it on a short drive. Just like I don't YouTube when I'm driving.
No. That might be a little dangerous.
In between deliveries. But yeah, so back to conventions. Yeah, so the con was good. Um, I'm looking forward to my next two that are in June. So I have a good long space in between now and then. Oh, well, not a terribly long space. I have probably about 6 weeks before my next one. Let's see. We have it's April 26th. So my next one is June 6th. No, it's not June 6th. Um, maybe it's the 11th. That thing said wrong, I think. Or maybe I got it wrong. Let me look at my tabletop events. Um, AutoCon is, yeah, June 6th. June 6th. How come my calendar was? Oh, yeah, June 6th is a Saturday. There it is. All right. So June 6th is my next one. So what do I got? I got like 6 weeks. Yeah, I got about 6 weeks. And I'm not running anything there. I'm playing. So I got time to relax and start planning my next season of games. So I'm working on a Greyhawk campaign for September.
Nice.
So looking forward to that. That's what my Tuesday nights. I'm changing my work days next year, so I'm going to be off on Tuesdays completely. So I'll never run into an issue with, you know, schlepping back from work and then having to eat real fast and get right into the game. We could probably start a little bit earlier as well. Start at like 8 o'clock, and do like 8 to 10:30, 11, and that's it. And do a weekly game there. So that should be good. And then I'll see what happens with our my OSC campaign. I'll see if I'm going to pick that back up again on Saturdays. We'll see how our Deadlands thing goes with just the two or three of us.
On the
Um,
cursed Thursday night time slot.
yeah, we might have to rethink that too and find a different time slot, or I mean, if you're up for it, and I'm sure that Tim will be up for it as well. Um, we can kind of just do a bunch of one shots during that time and just run different games and just play around with some of those games that we never get around to playing, and just do a locked in. Yeah, we're going to do a 4 hour slot, and
Yeah.
do something written specifically for 4 hours, and that's it.
Yeah, we could do that. I mean, yeah, that seems like what you're trying to work on anyway, and then you can take that to cons and see how it works out. So sure.
Yeah, or no, just like it was like you have a game that you've never run before and you want to run it. It was like, hey, Rich, can we do a one shot? Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And do that would be a way for us to get through our freaking our
Yeah.
our
Catalog
bookcases behind us.
Yeah.
And it's like
Piles of paper that we're keep collecting. Yeah, for sure.
yeah. Because I'll ask Bear. Bear, how many of the games behind you have you run? He's gonna say 4.
I think he's run most of them.
90% of this shelf.
Mm-hmm.
100% of that shelf. 50% of that shelf. 40% of that shelf. 100% of the bottom shelf. 100% of that shelf, and
So about 80%.
Yeah, about 100%
like on average,
of that
about
shelf.
80%
So
of everything.
about 80%, yeah.
Yeah. But how many different game systems is that?
40, 50, I don't know.
Really?
It's a bunch. Yeah, because you
Yeah.
got Cyberpunk. All of those superhero ones is a different system.
Right.
Yeah, Marvel's never been the same, like edition to edition, because it's always been a different company. So it's like,
Yeah.
Well, it was two by TSR, and then they broke off.
yeah, because they did Phase Rip and then like Advanced, and then it went to
No. So it was
Phase Rip and then
Marvel
Saga.
Superheroes and then Saga.
Yeah.
Marvel. Actually, it's Marvel Superheroes Adventure Game. So it's Marvel Superheroes and then Marvel Superheroes Adventure Game. Then the next Marvel game after that was the Marvel Stones game from Marvel themselves. Then came Margaret Weiss, which I hate. I hate that game. And then came the new one from Marvel again, doing it with Matt Forbeck.
Matt Forbeck's 616 system, which I've heard nothing good of. So
when it was in playtest, it had so much potential, and then they started making choices to lock it down as they went, and it's just like some of the choices they made. It's like, what the fuck were you?
It doesn't read bad though.
Oh, it reads really great. It plays weird.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't read bad at all. I mean, when I look at it, I was like, wow, I like the 616 system. It's like sometimes when you read them, they read really well, but maybe not implement well. Other times they read terribly, but they work fine.
The big mistake with the system, the 616 system, is one, they were obsessed with the 616 die thing. They had to have this. Like, there was Marvel branding, so the mechanic had to reflect the branding, which is never a good idea. Right. And then the stats were MARVEL, right? So like that, again, you're forcing your brand on it. And when we were doing the play testing, we found it really weird that accuracy and might were the ones that were just destroying everything. And most of us in the fan community said, just add an S to the end of that, call it Marvels, and make the S skirmish, like fighting from the old game. It'll fix all your problems. And instead, they just did something else really silly. It's just like bad game design is when you are, and it's not Matt's fault because he's doing this for a client, right? So they're
Mhm.
forcing branding in their mechanics, and that never works well.
Yeah, it's like, why? It's like everybody knows who Marvel is. You don't have to keep on branding your, it's like Disney having to advertise that it's Disney. It's like, yeah, everybody knows you're Disney.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Oh my God, the cat from the Pet Cemetery returns. But yeah, no, it's a good game in its own way, but I think it lost itself between playtest and final, because the playtest stuff was really interesting. A lot of us got
Yeah.
into it, and we were really excited about it. And it had some bumps and warts, but there were easy fixes to get rid of those bumps and warts. And then they just went a whole other way that just left me going, wow, I'm still buying this stuff because I want to support Matt, and I love superhero games, but that said, I should run it for people at some point in time, because I only ever run the playtest. I never ran the release edition.
Did you try the Modiphius Star Trek?
I'm sorry, I apologize. You might see a bunch of it over there on my shelf. You want to
Yeah.
talk about brand
The first
destroying
one
your game system?
was bad.
It's just bad system. I don't like 2D20 as a system, but
Oh, I love 2D20 for certain games.
Conan, I hear it's really great.
It's awesome. But
so are you going to tell me that the second edition is better?
Supposedly it is.
By whose metric?
By the people that hated the first one.
So, really? Because I've only ever heard people rave about it. Like, I've never heard anybody ever say anything bad about it other than people like me.
About the first edition?
Yeah.
Oh, no. I heard a lot of people say the first edition sucked.
Well, you hang out with a lot of old farts, too, though. So, if it ain't 20 and it ain't 6 stats, they're going to be cranky all the time.
But how about Doom?
Doom?
Dune.
No thanks. No thanks.
Is that Free League? That's Free League, though.
No, it's Modiphius.
Oh, it's Modiphius also?
It's their fucking shit 2D20 system again.
They don't always do 2D20, because they didn't do 2D20 with they didn't do 2D20 with I do it with Fallout. It works fine in Fallout.
They do it with everything. It's the only system they have.
Oh, I thought. Well, I have something where they don't do 2D20 with it. They just do the 1D20 with it. It's not across the board. I forget what I have that is not 2D20 from Modiphius.
I think the problem with the 2D20 for Star Trek is this. Star Trek is always going to be a game, or should always be a game, based around character skill, right? That's the idea. It's about being the best and the brightest and, all that kind of stuff. And they are so obsessed with their focuses, their little thing, and then everyone becomes samey after a while. There's just no diversity or variety. It's really obnoxious. I don't like it as a system, and I'm very protective of Star Trek. So, that's the way it is.
Yeah, I got to get around. I want to get around to playing FASA.
Don't bother. It's broken.
Well, I heard the game system sucks, but the
lore is amazing. The lore is amazing. The expanded FASA Trek universe is absolutely fantastic. You know what? Don't do that. What you should do instead is play StarQuest.
Okay. Well,
that's what you should play. You should play StarQuest.
But it's not out yet.
No, it's not. But if you're on my Patreon, you get the playtest rules. So.
I can bring you on, and you can. I can bring you on my channel, and you can pitch it. And
no, I'm good, man. I don't pitch. I don't do that. I remember I was someone did this to me. They were like, "What's your elevator pitch for this?" And I just went, as someone who worked in the film industry for 20 years plus, fuck off. Like, just elevator pitch. Shut up. Like, you heard that on some show and you think that's how everything works now. The only thing an elevator pitch is designed to do is to do one thing and one thing only. Find a hook to make them ask you more questions. That's all it is. That's all it'll ever be, right? And I had a class when I was in college where they taught us how to do that. And I was just like, this is the absolute stupidest fucking thing I have ever heard in my life. Like the elevator pitch. Like, What an asinine concept. I'm in an elevator with a producer, and he's only got the time we can ride in the elevator, and I have to sell him my project. You think that's how movies get made? Is that honestly how you think movies get made, people? No.
I've asked two people their elevator pitch for their games before I bought them. All
Yeah.
right.
Well.
I was like, I asked, I mean, not specifically, what's your elevator pitch, but I was like, I asked Greg Gillespie
Yeah.
before I bought Dragon Slayer. I said, listen, if I have AD&D First Edition and I have the Holmes Edition, why do I need yours? All right. And he pitched it to me. He was like, basically, well, this is what, I kind of did. I took this, I took that, I put it together, and it's just a better packaging of
Yeah.
if you were going to do it. I was like, fine, I bought it. I did
but
the
that's
same thing
different.
with Jeff D.
For
I was like,
Mighty Heroes or whatever, Mighty
Yeah.
Protectors.
So I said the same thing with Jeff D. I was like, I absolutely love Villains and Vigilantes Second Edition.
Yeah.
I was like, my favorite superheroes game. I've played the other ones, always went back to that. Absolutely love it. Why would I get Mighty Protectors? And he pitched it to me, and I bought it. Then I actually read the initial pages of it, and I was like, fuck that. Getting into pronoun bullshit and everything like that. I was like, oh, no, done.
But Jeff is super left, man.
Yes.
Jeff and I
super
had a
left. He is super abrasive online.
Oh, yes.
But when
fuck yes.
you meet him in person, it's like a totally different person because he realizes that, he's not a stupid businessman, I guess, because some of them are stupid, Chris Pramis is just fucking stupid, right? And he's the one that told everybody, don't buy my shit. If you voted this way, don't buy my shit. You're an asshole, and I hope that you get out of this hobby. Then he's begging for money because Diamond went out of business to his surprise. It was like, who the fuck got surprised by that shit?
Right.
They were,
so you know what the greatest thing that was ever made by his company ever? True 20.
I can't see it.
True 20, the green book.
Oh, True 20?
True 20 was the best iteration of the T20 system I ever saw in my life. But Steve Kenson did that. Mutants and Masterminds, Steve Kenson did that.
Yeah.
The Dragon Age system and all that, Steve Kenson did that for Blue Rose. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, if it wasn't for Steve Kenson, Chris Pramis wouldn't have a fucking company.
Yeah. So,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, he was another one that I was like, all right. I mean, the guy's just won't touch anything that he makes. I won't touch anything that
Jeff
Green
and I
Hat.
were friends.
And then
Evil
Hat
had a big
makes.
falling out. Evil Hat, I got no issues with Evil Hat. What did Evil Hat do?
They do Fate.
Evil Hat does Fate.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't buy their shit, but what do you got against them? What they do that makes you go?
Oh, they tell you not to buy their stuff.
Oh, did they do that too? I wasn't going to, so I guess that worked out well.
Yeah. So many of them.
Sold. All right.
Yeah.
Easily done, sir. Thank you.
You don't like what I say? Do not buy my stuff. I don't want.
I don't know why people think the Kelly Sue DeConnick comment is a smart way to go, given she fucked up. And if you don't like my politics, don't read my stuff. Well, no one's reading shit, Kelly. How you like them apples? Like that. This is what I like to call the ego check, right? Like like it's like the brake light or the engine light or the oil light. There should be an ego light on some people's careers. Where you just go, hey, wait, ooh, look at that.
Yeah. You remember when on Howard Stern, when Stuttering John used to walk up to celebrities, be like, "And who are you?" And he used to get so pissed off sometimes. I was like, "It was the most classic thing." Who are you? Who am I? It's like, but some of them are like that. Some of them are like, and people just like honestly like have no idea who these people are. I always use my 20-year-old daughters, in their early 20s. I'll be like, have you ever heard of this? No, who the hell is that? They don't know anybody that isn't from the last 5 years. It's like,
but that's not their fault, man. That's the media they consume.
Yeah. It's like they
It's
don't know
absolute
anything
bullshit.
going back to the, my kids.
When I was a kid, when I was a teenager in the '80s, I was super media savvy about the '80s, but I was also media savvy about the '70s and the
Yeah,
'60s and the '50s, right? And
yeah,
then the '90s, I was still media savvy, and then the 2000s. Ever since the 2000s, I've stopped being media savvy. I just don't care anymore. I
yeah.
don't
You don't
give
care
a shit.
anymore.
The last 24 years for every or 26 years for every last quarter century. Fuck, I'm old. For every hit and great thing there has been a literal metric shit ton of
Mm.
garbage at the same time. And that's why, like, he gives me shit because I don't want to watch Breaking Bad because everybody raved about it. The problem is I got burned by people's raving about series in the past, watched them and went, the fuck was this? And that's like 50 hours of my life I'm never getting back now. You know
Hey,
what I mean? Like,
so yeah.
Well, that's
Um,
how I feel about the Stargate series. They're like, "Oh, it's great.
oh,
You just got to get past like the first 2 seasons." I'm like,
oh my God.
"I'm gonna skip those." Then they're like, "Well, you can't," and it's like, "I'm not.
Then
I'm
I'm
not gonna
not
skip
watching
it.
the show. Well,
no.
You
as
got
simple
to
as
go
that.
through. Yeah, you got to go
I
through
was going to
two
say,
kilometers
I
of
think
barbed wire first." Sorry.
I think I was two generations separated from my parents. So because they were. So I grew up with listening to Glenn Miller, and my mother was a big fan of Mario Lanza.
Oh
So I
yes.
was born in '67. I shouldn't have been listening to that stuff, but my father was probably like 50 when he had us. And
Yeah.
and my mother was in her mid 30s. And but she always had much older taste in music.
And men
So
apparently.
it's like I was multi
Yeah.
generational as far as music was
Well,
concerned.
my parents were born in the 30s, right?
Yeah.
And my grandmother, we had our house. My grandmother had the downstairs, and we had the upstairs at the house. So I was always being exposed to her as well. She was born in 1918 or something like that. You know what
Mm.
I mean? Like she was not a young woman even when I was a kid. She was old by that point. So I grew up, the Andrews sisters and
Mm.
Abbott and Costello and stuff like
Right.
that. We used to have Super 8 films that we'd watch these movies. You know what I mean? And like we were
Yeah.
watching shit that they had, so it was like watching the original Bugs Bunny reels and stuff like
Hmm.
that. So yeah, I was always sort of disconnected too. I think that's the way it is.
Let me put in the wax cylinder in the Vectrola, and you'll hear some vaudeville there, little bear.
Well, allow me to get in my velocirator and be right over.
Yes. You know,
Exactly. I'm on my way.
my father used to have to change the vacuum tubes in the back of the television. the
Oh wow, that's old school.
But yeah, let's see.
So it looks like we're gonna have a doctor-free adventure tonight, Paul.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering what my beeping on Discord was, and it's like, up, he's out. That's unfortunate.
He's
That's
not
okay.
feeling well. He's not feeling well. But that's the nice part about a sci-fi game. Don't have to explain why he's not there. He's just not fucking there this episode. Where's
On
the
the
doctor?
episodes of Star Trek.
That's a good thing about running like episodic sessions too. Yeah, I mean that's the good thing about hex crawls and those kinds of things. If somebody doesn't show up, you can just pick up where you left off. They stayed in the tavern overnight. It's like
Fair enough. Fair enough.
so.
Set your weapons to fun. Ugh.
All right, I am going to.
I have to kill Sven's character for that.
So I'm going to wrap this one up soon. So Paul, when's your next convention?
If we don't go up to Oshkosh for this Tabletop Minions Expo, I believe it's in July for EGGCon. Whoop. So we'll see what's going on there. I think Bill's going to be there, Sylvie. So it'll be the first time
you're
I've
up
seen him in a
there.
few years.
I envy you being in that position because how far is that a drive for you?
For Lake Geneva, it's like 90 minutes.
Yeah,
it's not too bad. It's
that's
nice.
awesome.
It really is the golden triangle here, yeah. Because then, to get up
Yeah.
to Milwaukee, same thing. It's like 2-hour drive. Where I found out it's a 90-minute Amtrak train, so just zip on up, get on out.
Yeah.
So, but yeah,
Going to VentureCon?
VentureCon. He's got to get like more than 15 people to show up, and then maybe I'll think about it. I look at it every now and then. That's the thing. Like
I thought he had more than 15 people.
I think so. It was like 20 something or whatever.
No, no, I thought it was like 50 or something like that. I mean, my local con that I go to is only like 50 to 70 people.
sure. Yeah, yeah.
You got to start somewhere, right? It's like,
That's true. Yeah, yeah. Well, that's the problem is for me. I'm like, I'll let him get some traction. I've kind of spoiled myself going to like Gen Con every year, so I'm like, I've
yeah,
I've soared with the eagles and I've slithered with the snakes. You know, I've seen all the sizes, so I'm just kind of waiting for him to get established. Kind of like Chaosium Con. They'll figure it out at some point.
yeah.
Well, hopefully now, like I said, they've got the new edition of Pendragon, so they're probably actually running it now. But the early Chaosium Cons, I was looking at them and I was like, that's a lot of Call of Cthulhu and somewhat less. What was that? The Glorantha one, RuneQuest. But other than that, I was like, and then there was like the occasional like gem in the rough that you were like, holy crap, they dug out somebody to run Stormbringer or something like that, and you're like, that's going to fill immediately.
Yeah.
Because it's one guy the whole weekend.
Right. How about you, Bear?
Claricon, man, October. It's the only con I go to.
Claricon in October.
It's the
That's the only one you go?
Only. I don't like people. I don't like crowds people. I don't like traveling. I hate traveling. I absolutely despise traveling. Like if a girl's like, if you meet a girl and she's like, I love traveling. How about you? I'm like, well, check please. I just had the soup. I'm gonna just end this date now. You know what I mean?
Claricon? What town is that in?
It's in Halton Hills or Glen Williams or Georgetown, depending on how you want to look at it. Georgetown is the larger area that this little area is in, which is in Halton Hills, which is a smaller part of Halton Hills.
Georgetown really is one word?
Georgetown, Ontario, yep. And it's really fun, and it's a great crowd of people show up, and everybody's really chill, and it's a good time, man. OGG shows up there, Off Grid Gaming. He tries to come every year, and what's his name? There's two YouTubers who come every year. I can't remember their names right now. Bandits Keep and Kobold something or other. They come, though this year the Kobold guy couldn't make it last year.
Yeah.
A bunch of us from Yield Geek flies in from England, takes his vacation, comes down for that. Now Iman, Intellectual Quandary, came last time, says he wants to come this time again. We just have fun. We just have a good time. Run some games.
It's 7 hours for me.
Yeah,
they have these crazy things called planes. I don't know if you've ever heard of them. It's amazing.
It's a 7.5 hour drive for me.
7 hour plane ride is 3 hours because you're going outside of the country. So for me, it's at least 3 hours, if not 4, on the front end. And then coming back is at least 3 on the back end.
I don't believe you because I've flown to the States many times for business and never had to do that.
New York is a freaking nightmare.
Well, fair. It was Boston and it was Michigan for me. That were the last ones I went to.
Yeah, no.
October. The dates are. Hang on, I actually have an email about this because he's asking us what games we're going to run. October 23rd to 25th is the con. But anyway, listen. You guys do what you got to do.
Yeah. Well, on that maybe even that weekend.
Well, we go. We have fun. It's a fun time.
Yeah. Let me see. I think
you're in. Where do you fly out of generally for you if you're going to take a plane?
Well, if I'm going to go, like I'd prefer to use Westchester Airport.
Westchester.
It's more expensive to fly out there, but it's less of a hassle. Either that, or it's going to be JFK or John F. Kennedy or LaGuardia. Those are the ones that are expensive. It takes me an hour and a half to drive there. It costs for a weekend. It probably cost me about like $150 to park, and then again you have to get there 2 hours before an international flight. The flight's nothing, right? The flight's probably like an hour and a half.
Yeah, it's like 2 hours or something. Yeah.
No, ShireCon is it's September. I'm thinking it was 1 year in October. So that's 20.
Man, Sword and Stones, if you do fly out from the Okanagan, you're going to have fun, man. That's for sure.
Yeah.
It's a fun time and lots of cool people. That's the thing. It's just a lot of really cool people and just chill. And, it's in a church, for God's sake. Come on. Like, it's not, there's no cosplaying, there's no attention whoring, there's none of that bullshit. It's just nice. And
No Jenny D? You're not going to get Jenny D there?
No. Listen, the biggest names there are Bandits Keep, Mage's Musings, me, we're the biggest names, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, come on. This is a nice,
You
maybe
could
70, 80
cosplay.
people show up.
You can't cosplay?
Yeah. Could do that.
No,
You
that's
could
not
have
Thanksgiving weekend.
It'll be like Satine Phoenix, but Ginny D will be getting married by a dungeon minister or something. There you go.
That would
You could
be
officiate.
funny as fuck. That would be so funny. Thanksgiving weekend in Canada is, hang on, I'm in October. It's the week before Halloween, basically, is what it is. I'm in November. Let me go back to October. Thanksgiving is the weekend before. The 12th is Thanksgiving. Swords and Stones for us. So it's 2 weeks after Thanksgiving. Yeah. So Thanksgiving's on the 12th.
For our Thanksgiving.
Sorry, what?
Well, that's not our day. No, that's October. That's not November.
No. Unlike you weirdos, we have our Thanksgiving at the appropriate time, which is a harvest festival, which happens at the time of the harvest, which is at October. For some reason, you guys went, how can we get everybody together a month before Christmas? So they really hate each other within that month. At least we have like a couple of months between seeing our family to sort of depressurize a bit. You guys, man, crazy.
Look,
No.
we're celebrating how we swindled the natives out of their land with some beads. That's our Thanksgiving. We're giving thanks for all the
valuable
wampum.
beads. $7 is all Manhattan is worth now. All the billionaires are fleeing.
Seriously. All I say about cities like New York is like, just turn off the sump pumps. Just turn them off and watch what happens to those cities. You know what I mean? Let the electricity go out for like a week and see what happens to those cities, Rivers
like the Tool song, right? The Tool song, Let It Flood, right?
Exactly. or like the Tragically Hip song, New Orleans is sinking, man, and I don't want to swim. It's just the way it is.
All right, guys. Thank you very much for coming on, and I'll go have some dinner.
There you go.
Give my
you
voice
are
a little
old.
rest.
It's 5:30 and you're going to have dinner. You are old.
It's just, you got to eat before 8. Got to eat before 8 now.
Got to go get that early bird special. Yeah.
So you guys have a good one. Thanks, everyone in the chat. Good seeing you all. And Paul, I'll see you Thursday night.
Yep.
Here.
We'll plan
Paul,
for
I'll see you in an hour and a half, Paul.
That's right.
Yeah, I'll see who's streaming tonight at 7:00. Probably 15 people are streaming tonight at 7. So I'll see who's on tonight.
Yeah.